SFM HD2, New York.
We have made it to Friday. That is right. 31st day of July, 2026. It is indeed
right?
Carlin and Grassa. Once again, here on ESPN New York. 800-919-3776. That is the telephone number. I see Ray Dinahan. I see Joe Leo. They are going to be hanging out with us for the next 3 hours, and we want to hear plenty from you as well at 800-919-3776. I've heard rumblings, Chris. There might be a little sideline to sideline with all the football stuff going on that we're going to have to visit. Right? That's exciting
to me. Is it really July 31st?
It is the last day of July. That is indeed
correct.
Correct. Yeah.
Oh, man. These summers, they blow by. Yeah. You know what I'm not doing with my life? Maximizing time. That's what I'm not doing with my life.
Well, I was going to ask you the question. When you get to the end of a month like we are right now, do you sit there and reflect back on the last 31 days and say, what did I accomplish?
I'm not doing a Ray Santiago plays of the week kind of thing.
No plays of the month?
I don't measure my life in months, Dan. I measure it in joy. And I would say that this was a joyless July.
A joyless July. The alliteration just flows, right? That's the good vibes we want to hit you with heading into your weekend on this final day of July.
Measure your life in love.
Yeah, right. And that's what we're trying to do. All love on this show. All love. And by the way, if you have been with us for the previous 4 days of this week, you will know that there is a game that has been cultivated by this very program. That is, to say that all the kids are talking about it is putting it extremely mildly. To say that it has swept the nation is also minimizing its significance. But today will be, once again, another edition of... What was the name we came up with?
Remember that guy from the team? Let's name him.
Here's what I found
Let's
out
name
yesterday,
him.
too. Here's the best part of this. What I found out yesterday is that our production czar, Mike Brownshire,
Yes.
when this was proposed to him on Monday, about 25 minutes before the show, because again, this was an idea conceived out of a trip to the men's room for me. And not even a trip into the men's room, like on the way. You know what would be good? Let's do this.
It was pre-think tank.
Right. And he didn't understand what the concept was. He didn't understand what we wanted to do with it. But all he could come up with was that. And it was perfect.
Yep. I love it. I think
the tone of which it just cannot capture the essence. I mean, you speak about, all right, you want to talk about my July? The last 4 days in that 12:20 slot has been where my joy has lived. And I've lost all four.
You have had a rough 12-20 this week. Like, if you look back on your week, you're going to say, what was the time period of the week each day that I would like to have back again? You probably say the 12-20.
No, but yes, I would, just from a winning standpoint, but from an enjoyment of the show standpoint, I want that to be every segment.
And see, I'm with you. And even though that I've won them, the enjoyment I'm getting, win or lose, can't be minimized. The satisfaction.
Today, because you basically were, trying to throw me a bone and placate me yesterday. I run my mouth early in the show, having already lost 3 days in a row. Like, well, I mean, if we got to the 81 to 85 Mets, you would have no chance whatsoever. And of course, Ray, as a result of that, decides, all right, we're going to do the 85 Mets.
84.
And 84 Mets.
Yeah.
And maybe that's part of the problem. And I lose. And it was a devastating loss. I blame Mike Cubbage and his inability to pinch hit well enough in 83 to stick in 84.
You think that's bad? I got a text last night from none other than Kelvin Chapman, and he said neither one of you morons could remember that I was on that team. He didn't really text me, kids. Did not really text me.
Is Kelvin Chapman with us still? I assume.
Let me ask you a question.
Yeah.
Would it be a little sophomoric if that becomes an impromptu game one of these days on this show?
Are they alive?
Are they still with us?
Are they?
And you know what? I trust Mike Brownshire with all my life to come up with imaging that would be appropriate yet tasteful.
No, I'm not going to start with a laugh on that one.
Right, with the Santa Claus laugh or something like that, like, ho, 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 is he still around? Ho, 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 ho.
Yeah, there you go. Exactly.
Right, exactly. No, we can't do that. Can't have the Bon Jovi. I mean, let's keep it tasteful.
Are we sure? Are we sure? I mean, I can throw. I'm already. Just wheels are spinning.
Ray, do you think that it could be tastefully done?
Tastefully? I don't know that the game has
like
any taste at all to it.
Nudes.
You're asking if someone's still with us.
But see, here's the thing. In a game like that, I hope all the answers are yes, they are.
Exactly, but they can't
Chris, you
be.
might not believe this. I'm a people guy. I'm a people person.
Can I ask the question? I mean, it was
Sure.
one of the answers yesterday. Claudel Washington, is he still with us?
I don't know.
Maybe we'll call up
don't
Bon
know.
Jovi, ask him to record the open for us.
Well, he got his voice back. You know, he's doing State Farm commercials. He's got his voice back. He's touring now. I mean, I think he could set aside 5 minutes to record a little imaging.
Although,
like
did
an
you see this?
acoustic
And I
unplugged
was,
version.
I got to say, we will get into some Yankees here momentarily. But did you see this? I guess he at one of the shows last week, he had a bad sinus infection.
Yeah.
And he, in fact, had to stop after like 3 or 4 songs, and then had Pat from Train come out and sing one of the songs with him, one of his final songs, and then just walked off after about 45 minutes. But he apologized profusely.
Has that
And
ever happened?
I'm assuming
No,
he's
go
going to
ahead.
make up that show.
Yeah, oh, no, he's going to. Yeah, but have you personally ever been at a show where, like, the performer came on and said, you know what, this is not happening tonight?
No.
Yeah, me neither.
No.
Like-
Have you ever been to a show where the performer just didn't come on until ridiculously late, like apparently had happened with Jay-Z a couple of weeks ago
Right.
at Yankee Stadium? That had more to do with the crowds, but still.
No, there was a I don't think I was there that night. I might have been at one of the other nights, but I remember one of the Springsteen runs at the Meadowlands, the old Giant Stadium. You know, you're familiar with the good old 16W exit off the Turnpike. There was there was a tanker truck that overturned on the off-ramp that day, and obviously fireballs, and this was out. So I bet you couldn't exit the Turnpike like all day into the evening. I don't think he came on that night until after 11 o'clock, maybe close to midnight, because nobody could get to the damn show.
Yeah, I can understand. But like, there was, back in the day, in my college days, it was like Guns N' Roses would go out to do a show, and they couldn't get Axl to come out until like 11:15.
Yeah, because he had other things to do.
Yeah. And
now, was Pat Monahan and Train, were they an opening act, or did Pat Monahan just happen to be there?
I think he just happened to be there because they were.
Think of the coincidence.
Well, no, I think they were playing it. I'm sure he was scheduled to come out and do one with him, but I think they were out at Jones Beach or PNC Art Center or something like that recently.
So he was in the neighborhood. So
yeah,
it wasn't one of those
neighborhood kind of a situation.
The manager came on the stage, and is anybody here a marine biologist? and all of a sudden, Pat Monahan strolls up to the stage and is able to whip out, I'll be there for you or whatever.
Was that? Is anybody here a marine biologist? Was that another one of those Larry David voice appearances? Like he made several appearances as just the voice.
It was definitely a male voice, and I think it might have been his, yes.
I'm not positive if it was or it wasn't. The last one I remember was, not the last one, the only one that immediately comes to mind is the kosher meal on the plane.
Right.
Yeah. I ordered the kosher meal. I forgot.
I ordered it 6 weeks ago.
Yeah. And also Larry David was the man with the cape.
Man with the cape.
The lawyer. Anyway, having said that.
But yes, but bottom
and he
line
was the
is,
voice of Steinbrenner, appropriately enough, which, right now,
yeah.
there was a rather annoyed manager yesterday.
And rightfully so, because, look, I understand the Yankees. You could be in a lot worse shape than the Yankees are in right now, a la the Mets. But, they've and we've given them a lot of credit, right? The way that the Yankees have been able to kind of piece this thing together, obviously undermanned. And when you're missing guys like Stanton, Judge, and now Cody Bellinger, eventually, despite the fact you're winning games, that is all going to revert to the mean in some way, shape, or form. And I think you're starting to see that because, look, you could say they're extra inning losses. It's not like they're getting blown out. Here's what is happening, though. They're not scoring any runs. And even when they were winning these games, Chris, they still were not scoring runs. And that's why the next 72 hours are going to be mighty interesting. I know Aaron Boone is trying to say the right things when he says, these aren't excuses. It's on the guys. We have to be better and all that stuff. This group, as presently constituted, is not good enough to win a championship right now.
No, they're not. And I think the biggest thing for me is that is just what you said. As much as I have tried to lean into, and I know you have too, let's strengthen the strength. Let's make sure, if we're not going to hit, let's at least make sure that they're not going to hit either and load up on pitching. At some point, you have to come through with something. And that's why, Boone was asked about the pitching yesterday and basically just went away from it immediately and got right into, no, we have to score points. And, and got right, did not mess around with that. So, you know what? Let's hear a little bit of Boone here, clearly frustrated with their lack of offense.
We had to score a freaking point. The story is not, the pitchers again did their job. Obviously Stormy was great to get us going. The bullpen was good, including Cruz. We got to score. That's the story, the beginning and end of it. We got to find a way.
Do you think that you guys need a bet?
I don't know, Randy. It doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. I'm not going to play the speculative game every single day now. What's going to happen Monday will happen or not happen. We have to score better. We have to do a better job offensively, period, and not looking over our shoulders for anyone. We have to find a way.
There were two things there for me. Number one, the tone has obviously changed from a couple of weeks ago of, we got to be better. We got to do this, to genuinely pissed off. Genuinely.
Yes.
In the moment, for sure. To, I don't want to talk about the fact that we walked in a literal walk-off run. It was more, no, when you lose like that, you have to score runs. But the other part for me is you don't want these guys thinking that whatever you do by Monday is all of a sudden the cure-all. No, guys, don't worry. Help is coming. Whether or not these guys come back, we'll be okay. Because you never know if it's the cure-all. You can have players come over and then just not perform. That has happened many times at the deadline with guys here in New York. They're not all Yoenis Cespedes. That's not how this goes.
My takeaway from that was, and I've watched the Yankees all year, followed them all year, I guess I was asleep at the wheel not knowing ever that Ryan, and it's genius, by the way, Ryan Weathers' nickname in the clubhouse is Stormy. Because he referred to him as Stormy.
That's a great point.
That's brilliant, by the way. And he was brilliant yesterday. 7 innings, tons of ground ball outs, which is what you want to see from him when he's going at his best. By the way, our good friend Jefferson, teammate extraordinaire, confirmed that is indeed Larry David's voice. Is anybody a marine biologist?
Okay.
He
probably went back and watched. But Jefferson's what? He's 12 years old. What do you know Larry David if he saw him?
Yeah, but Jefferson, though, is an old soul, number one. And number two, he does know how to use Google. Right? That's all you got to do. And I love him to tears. I trust him with my life.
Really?
So I trust.
You
Yes.
You trust Jefferson with your life?
Yes, because you know why?
The guy who was screaming during the NBA Finals a couple of weeks ago when you and I are doing an appearance down at Monmouth Park at the Caesar Sportsbook, watching the NBA Finals, and the kid is legitimately screaming, "Why can't I get the Cardinals and Reds?"
First of all, NL Central rivalries are timeless. Number two.
In Central Jersey, they are.
In Central Jersey. Number two, though, he did make sure that we got delicious, hot, fresh Shake Shack, which was to die for.
This is true.
Crinkle-cut
well, then
fries
in that case,
were hot,
listen,
fresh,
if that's how we're
tasty.
defining it, then I do trust him with my life.
There you go. And that's all you need. No, but all kidding aside, you're right about Aaron Boone, and eventually everybody has a tipping point. And look, we could sit here and fans could sit there and dip in and out of Yankee games, and they don't have to necessarily watch intently. He got to watch us every day, and he knows what he has on his hands. Like, he's the guy that ultimately is going to get all the blame if this thing comes up short. He knows he's got one of the most irreplaceable players in baseball that has been injured now for 2 months, and he knows he's not playing with a full deck. But to get back to your point about the trade deadline stuff, just rewind a year ago. The haul that the Yankees got at the deadline last year, we all thought was fantastic. Like, Cashman was getting passing grades. Ryan McMahon was going to help shore up third base. He hasn't shored up third base. Rosario came along as a right-handed bat off the bench. Duvall, Bednar, Bird. Really, the only guy who's made a steady contribution for them has been Bednar.
Yeah, well, I mean, wasn't Caballero the deadline too?
I think he might have. He was at the Joe. He was at the deadline.
He was around the deadline. Maybe he was
around-ish.
Literally on deadline day yesterday. Walked from the visiting clubhouse at
right.
Yankee Stadium
That's
to
right.
the Yankees clubhouse.
Forgot
Good
about
call.
that.
Okay, so Caballero, Bednar, but a lot of those other guys,
you're right.
Swings and misses. So buyer beware is what you're saying, and you don't. And remember, this is not a robust market either. It's not littered with high-impact bats. People are kicking their, throwing out there the possibility, and we talked about it earlier before the show. Does Brian Cashman pick up the phone and call Dave Dombrowski in Philadelphia? Hey, Dave, is there a big contract you want to get off your hands maybe?
Yeah, and the thought being Bryce Harper. And two thoughts behind it. Number one, obviously the Phillies are going to still think they're in it. But Bryce and Dombrowski have not been getting along this year at all.
Yep.
And it started with Dombrowski in spring training saying that Bryce did not have an elite year last year. Bryce has got 5 years and 118 left, I believe was the number that Joel Sherman put out there today. And kind of compared it to 2004 when the Red Sox went and made the Nomar Garcia-Parra trade. And I believe that was Manny and Jason Bay, too, around the same time, like really shook things up, but didn't do it with the thought of I'm trading away guys just to get rid of them. No, he was doing it more with the thought of I'm trading away guys to get some newer offensive faces in this building.
I think also.
By the way, I was wrong. That Manny was later than 2004, much later than 2004.
Yes. Yeah, 2004 he was on the Red Sox. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, he was part of the
Manny was like 2008 that they traded him
to
away.
the Dodgers when they just got tired. Yeah, when Joe Torre was managing the Dodgers.
Right.
That's when he went out there.
Mm-hmm.
The thing is, though, like, I understand what Boone is saying. And he wants to kind of pump up the dudes that he still has in that clubhouse and wants to give them confidence that, they have enough, they're good enough to sit there and get it done. But let's be real. Like, I can almost side with him in a way in saying, like, they need help. And I don't know what he did yesterday was some sort of a backhanded plea to Cashman in the front office. Like, hey, man, you got to go out there and do something to help us. Like, those three names that are out of that lineup, those are big names, like both in stature and literally production. This team needs some help. You look at this lineup right now. I mean, why am I blanking? Oh my God.
Bellinger?
No, who's still in the lineup? In the lineup.
McMahon, Rice.
Ben Rice, thank you.
Rice.
Gee, why? You know why? Because I said Jake Bird 5 minutes ago, and then I kept coming back to Jake Bird. I was like, no, not Jake Bird, Ben Rice.
Yeah.
Ben Rice is the only threat you have in this lineup right now.
What's bothersome to me is the continued dumb mistakes. Listen, it's one thing when Dominguez is going to overslide third base, which is just it's silly to begin with. Michael, in the middle of that call, if you'll remember, said something along the lines of this oversliding the bases is an epidemic.
Yeah.
It's how do we just get past the stupidity of that? I don't know how that happens. But secondly, never mind that, Jazz Chisholm gets picked off again. Like, he does this at an elite level. The way he is so bad on the base paths, it is just like if there was a Pro Bowl or there was an All-Star game for that, Jazz Chisholm would have his own wing in Cooperstown. That's how bad he is at all of this. I think there is a Boone cut on Jazz getting picked off. Let me hear that cut. Here's Aaron Boone on Jazz getting picked off.
Stolen base. That's how lefties pick off. That's how you get caught stealing on that.
Or, you just get caught napping.
Yep. Get caught now. Now, was there some of that tightness that was going on, which led to, which he was preoccupied with that? Because then he ultimately had to leave because the legs were tightening up on him there a little bit.
Yeah, well, okay.
I don't know.
You're right. I know. But the first thing in the moment that was said is, oh, he's going to go try and steal second here. Like, and you're right. He's walking around the dugout gingerly and all that, and he stayed in there. Like, you can't hit me with, I'm out there playing hurt and all this, and then I'm going to go try to steal second. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like, I have to be at least consistent with what I'm trying to do. Here's the point. When you combine the lack of offense with mental and physical mistakes on the base paths, you have no chance. You have no chance. And the argument is certainly there to be made that the Yankees had every opportunity to sweep the White Sox this week, and they didn't.
How much do you stress over the fact that their record in extra innings is now 1-8? You know what I mean? Like, and I understand big picture-wise, you get to the playoffs, if you need extra innings, you're not playing by the same rules. There's no more Manfred man on second base and the ghost runner and all that stuff. But it is a little disconcerting what it can do to you and what it can do to the remainder of their season. Okay, that's 1-8. That might be the difference between the Yankees winning the American League East and not winning the American League East.
See, how I look at it is, how concerning is it? It's concerning. I thought for a moment you were taking it from the standpoint of, well, we're not good in extra innings, and that might be a mentality that might kind of haunt them. If it's just from we might not win the division, look, I'm obviously going to feel a whole lot better if they have the best record in the game. By virtue of winning the division, they would have the best record in the league and would have the bye if that were to happen. Now, having said that, I'm not overly concerned about that part of it. And I actually don't get too concerned about being 1-8 in those games because as much as I am annoyed by analytics at times, there are things such as we talked about yesterday with one-score games in the NFL that I do believe at some point it does regress to the mean. And I think the Yankees, what should you be in extra inning games? The way extra inning games are set up right now, basically teams should be right around 500, right?
Tampa Bay's 5-4.
Yeah.
They're 5-4. Yankees are 1-8. That's a 4-game difference. Yanks trail Tampa Bay by 3.5. So there you go.
Yeah, it's fair. It's fair. I do think at some point that'll come back. Do you think it's a big deal if they don't win the division?
I mean, on the surface, kind of, sort of, because then that means you're going to be playing an extra round. Right? You don't get that first round bye potentially. But here's what I'll say. I can at least acknowledge that they've been playing short of a full deck for the last couple of months. Who knows what this roster is going to look like starting on Tuesday when they wake up in the morning. I might have to, and we all might have to just judge the Yankees from Tuesday till the end of the season. Like, that's ultimately going to be the addition of this club that wins or doesn't win a championship for them. Yeah. You know what I mean? So it's like, that's the sample size I need to see. When they get healthy, whoever they bring in between now and Monday afternoon, that's what I'm going to have to start judging this team on.
800-919-3776. What exactly is your take on the Yankees at the moment, and how concerned are you by this offense leading into next week. And a question that I do want to ask is, how is it going to affect the clubhouse come Monday if they're not able to make, I don't want to say a significant addition, but one that you would consider real help to what they're trying to accomplish? Just a couple of comments I'll give you in the chat. Number one, they heard your voice at the beginning of the show. Box lunch, is Carlin gone too?
Wow.
And I understand. That's
no. When you're, you know what it is. All it was when you're carpooling and you have a long trip on the road. Sometimes you take you switch shifts driving. That's all. You take turns.
That happens. Other thing, I just wanted to revisit. So Claudell Washington, is he with us or not?
I'm going to, for the sake of humanity, I'm going to say and hope and pray that he is.
I mean, do we play the buzzer or not?
Oh, no.
Bang! No. Claudell Washington is no longer with us.
Oh.
Claudell passed away on June 10th of 2020.
Was it COVID
at 65
related?
Years old. So, give it the old family.
COVID related? June of 2020?
I don't know the answer to that. But now that you've mentioned, I certainly feel worse about this game than I did.
Why is the first one that you had to bring up of the negative connotation? Like, why couldn't you?
Well, you don't know for sure that that's how he passed away.
Bring up somebody that
Am I about to Google what I think I'm about to Google? Did Claudell Washington pass away from COVID?
Give me a layup. Give me somebody that we know is just brimming with vitality, for crying out loud.
It was not COVID.
It was not COVID. Okay. See? Don't be so negative.
It doesn't change the outcome. The buzzer still went off. COVID or no COVID, the buzzer went off.
Dan,
not that prostate cancer makes it better, Dan, but still.
Yeah. Dan, death is part of life. Like as I said, measure your life in love.
I mean, we're not even at the first break yet. And this is what I got to take with me into the end of the week show.
Go ahead. You take us to break.
On that note, for all of us that are still very much vital, Yankee Talk when we return. 800-919-3776. Carlin, Grassa, ESPN New York.
It's summertime, so why are you still living with pain? If you're dealing with neck pain, back pain, joint pain, or nerve pain, don't wait any longer. Call Dr. Jay Shaw at Soundwell Pain. He's Ivy League trained, double board certified, no surgery, no long recovery, no relying on pain medication. Just non-surgical image-guided treatments that help you get your life back. With offices in Woodbridge, Livingston, and Inglewood, and most major insurances are accepted. Help is close. Go to SoundwellPain.com. Feel better this summer, not someday.
The big problems at this hour include the Outer Bridge Crossing closed out of New Jersey into Staten Island. A crash there, all lanes closed on the Jersey side. A mess both ways. The Goethals Bridge much better. Route 34 at Colts Neck, that's closed both ways in New Jersey. At County Road 537 with down wires across the roadway. George Washington Bridge, Jersey bound side outbound. Lower level accident right lane on the Jersey side. You're better on the inbound side. And the upper level is okay. And the Holland and Lincoln tunnels, only about a 15-minute delay now. The Holland Tunnel coming in from New Jersey. Lincoln is your best. And the Cross Island Parkway northbound by the Throgs Neck Bridge, a crash blocking one lane. I'm Bob Williams on 880 ESPN New York.
The summer of soccer is heating up with Red Bull New York. Join the Red Bulls on Saturday, August 1st as they take on Orlando City SC at Sports Illustrated Stadium. It's Hometown Heroes Night, celebrating the first responders, community leaders, and everyday heroes who make a difference across our communities. Kickoff is at 7:30 p.m., but the fun starts at 4 p.m. on the Boulevard with 3 hours of pregame entertainment. Get your tickets today at NewYorkRedBulls.com.
If you've been injured in an accident that wasn't your fault, then you need a lawyer who knows New York's unique personal injury and workers' compensation laws. At the Parisman Firm, they have decades of experience handling all types of accident cases and a proven track record of delivering huge results. Their team has already recovered nearly $1 billion for injured New Yorkers. From construction to car accidents and slips and falls, they've got you covered. Call the Parisman Firm now at 718-WORKERS, where your case is their cause. Get the justice you deserve today.
At Uline, the prevailing opinion is, if you don't live it, you don't believe it. The people at Uline believe in hard work, and they live it by being there 24/7 to answer your call, having 41,000 items in stock, and offering same-day shipping from 12 locations across North America. Business owners, sellers, buyers, shippers, and packers believe it. Uline is the hard-working, dependable source for your shipping and industrial supplies. Visit uline.com.
This is the Michael Kay Show.
I think that when you watch a team every single day, I think we get more of a harsh perspective because teams that are having quote-unquote good years, the injury-decimated Yankees play those teams, and they seem to handle them quite well. Maybe things are not as bad as we all think they are because we're watching them every single day.
The Michael Kay Show, weekdays at 1 on ESPN New York and streaming live on YouTube. Presented by the Parisman Firm.
1-877 Cars for Kids. KARS Cars for Kids. 1-877 Cars for Kids. Donate your car today. 1-877 Cars for Kids. KARS Cars for Kids. 1-877 Cars for Kids. Donate your car today.
Ready to get rid of that old car? Donate it to Cars for Kids. Call 877-CARS-4-KIDS to speak to a friendly live agent. Donation is super easy, and your car can be picked up as soon as tomorrow. Go to cars4kids.org now or call 877-CARS-4-KIDS to donate your car today.
1-877 Cars for Kids. KARS Cars for Kids. 1-877 Cars for Kids. Donate your car today.
Did you know you can donate real estate too? Go to carsforkids.org. That's cars with a K.
When's the last time payroll was the easy part of your week? With Gusto, it can be. Gusto is the all-in-one platform designed to take the hassle out of managing your team, from payroll and compliance to hiring, onboarding, and more. With Gusto, you can get back 2 full days each month with all the time you've saved. Go to gusto.com today and learn why over 500,000 small businesses choose Gusto. That's GUSTO.com. Gusto.com.
Drip Drop is doctor-developed, proven fast hydration that helps your body and mind work better. Trusted by firefighters, medical professionals, and over 90% of top college and pro sports teams. Drip Drop is engineered to hydrate faster and more effectively than water alone, with 3 times the electrolytes of leading sports drinks. Stock up now at dripdrop.com and use promo code RADIO20 for 20% off your first order. That's dripdrop.com, promo code RADIO20.
All right, it's time right now for your weekend weather report. That's brought to you by our good friends at Neutral. Today's a beautiful day, finally, right? No rain, sunshine, high of 83, although pump the brakes on that. You got to get a chance of a shower later in the day. I'm going to sit here and tell you it's not going to happen. We're going to think positive about the weather today. Saturday, got some clouds, some sun, also high of 83. You know, your typical steamy Saturday summer afternoon. Sunday, you got the humidity as well, maybe a PM shower. Down at the shore, you got some nice weather today and tomorrow. Low 80s all weekend. Beautiful, as you would expect, as we still have, what are we down to? About a handful of weekends left of this summer, if you can believe it. That was your weekend weather report brought to you by Neutral. Keep it tasty with Neutral Vodka Seltzer, made with real vodka and real fruit juice. Enjoy responsibly.
I got to give you credit. And,
yeah.
You sold that. You had a little Mr. G in you there, Grassa. Mr. G. You had a little bit of it in there for you. Just the casual nature with which you're saying, oh, your typical steamy, cloudy, maybe a little humid Saturday afternoon.
That's, or you could call me Stormy Weathers.
Yeah, good. Do you know anybody named Stormy?
No.
I do know one person named Stormy, and it's not Stormy Daniels.
She works for ESPN, right?
Stormy Buonantony.
Yes,
Who
does a good job
works
with
for
the
VSiN and also works for ESPN as a sideline reporter.
There you go.
Yeah.
I will tell you this. When I was a kid, true story, grammar school, Mr. G did one of those, like, show up at my school appearances, which he tended to do, like, time to time.
Really?
Yeah.
So how did that go? What grammar school did you go to?
I went to a Catholic
school
grammar
system
school.
were you in?
Yeah. I was in the the Catholic school system in Union County, New Jersey.
So which Catholic school was that? Union Catholic?
This was grammar school was Christ the King.
Christ the King,
which is now defunct.
Okay.
Yeah.
And so what was
they ran out of donations.
What was the lesson from Mr. G?
It wasn't for me. I think he came to talk to like the first grade or the second grade or whatever. But I was already like, I don't know, I was like fifth or sixth grade, so I didn't get to partake in the weather presentation. But he did show up at the school. I remember.
Mark Bavaro came to our school one time, again Catholic high school, and when he was playing, and if I'm not mistaken, it might have. Now it wasn't then, but it was not long after he had a particularly big game, and all anybody wanted to ask him about was the Giants in football, and all he wanted to talk about at the time was his faith and Catholicism, which I respect him for doing. It's a Catholic high school, but why exactly? Why didn't Mr. Sims use the ball on third down there? I know you had a big game. And apparently this is what a high school kid sounds like in Catholic high school in New Jersey. You're really good. How'd you learn how to run people over? Well, the Lord helped.
What? Do you remember the year?
It was probably 87, 88, in that range. I was going to say it was right around that Monday night game against the 49ers, where he had that run where he knocked over like four people, but I think it was earlier than that. So it's just one of those memories that you kind of tie together.
Well,
but he came in like this is his off day. This was a Tuesday, which is the off day for NFL players when you have a regularly scheduled week. And yeah, he came in and you could tell he kind of walked very slowly. He was still walking, like those guys hurt for 2 and 3 days after the game. And he was just gingerly walking in, and he was getting visibly frustrated as he kept getting football questions about, do you like Parcells? Do you like him?
What's the accent? Did you go to school in Staten Island?
I don't know. Excuse me, Mr. Bavaro, do you like Parcells? I don't even know what it would be. I don't even know. First of all, that was apparently a high school kid from Staten Island that was asking the question.
Right. You had a visitor for the day from Staten Island who was checking to see if your school was going to be the right educational fit for him.
Are New Jersey and Staten Island really that different that you're making this?
But that, you know what, Ray? His was a little bit more overtly like Staten Islandish.
Was there some ferry involved in it or something?
That's right. There's a ferry. That's how, back in those days, that's how athletes had to get to and from, school trips. They didn't have all the bells and whistles that they have nowadays.
So you had Mr. G and I had Mark Bavaro, and you didn't even.
But
get
yours was a high
to...
school, so
yes.
that was.
Yeah.
But I mean, here's the thing, and this is what I would tell Bavaro then. Obviously not now. He probably doesn't even remember. But it's no different than when a coach or a player or some personality does it, comes on like sports radio, for example, promoting something. I'm promoting, Gatorade.
Yeah.
And so they come on and you ask them, at the beginning and at the end, tell us about Gatorade and all the great things Gatorade is doing nowadays or something like that.
It's Super
But
Bowl
all
week,
you care about and what the audience cares about is the player, and things going on. That's what it was like for Mark Bavaro. Like, he wanted to pitch the Catholicism and the faith and the religion. You high school guys
like it was
just
bounty
wanted to be...
like it was bounty towels.
Right. Like bounty paper, the quicker picker-upper. And instead, you guys just wanted to be like, so you guys are better than the 49ers and not.
Exactly. What's LT really like?
Yeah. You ever go partying with LT? And who picks up the tab? Ooh. Could you sign this, Mr. Bavaro?
Oh, God. He did sign every autograph. I'll give him that. He was great, but you could tell he was he was there for a reason. And the reason, I don't know how you expect that 9th, 10th, 11th graders are not going to be constantly asking you about football. And all of us, listen, did you go to Catholic high school?
Oh, sure. I was in the system for 12 years, yeah.
So to me,
a lot of prayers.
In Catholic high school, to me, we had to wear jackets and ties. It was like Lord of the Flies at times. Because
what
you just
school did
have
you go
it was
to?
an
What high school did you go
all-boys
to?
Catholic high school.
Which one did you go to?
Oratory and Summit.
I went to Oratory when I was in like 8th grade as like a visitor for the day. You know what I mean?
Yeah, like, in other words, when you were considering schools, that's where you went. Yeah.
Correct. Yeah.
I went there and I went to Del Barton. And Del Barton was like, my parents, for some reason, wanted me to go there. And it was like a country club.
Yeah.
Like I saw golf carts on campus.
Del Barton's campus is bigger than some colleges.
Yes.
Yeah.
And I tanked the interview on purpose at Del Barton because I didn't want to go.
What did you do?
I believe my exact words in the interview were, well, the only reason I'm here is because my parents want me to be here.
Wow. So you were honest.
Yeah, I was. I was honest. And then that did not go over great at home. But I'm sorry. Oratory was, I have always been, listen, we were fortunate enough that when I was a kid that Del Barton was actually an option. Okay.
Yeah.
But I was never somebody that wanted to roll in those circles, if that makes sense. You know, I had no interest in it. And so get me to a little bit more ordinary place. And Oratory was quite ordinary in every way.
I remember the day that I went, I cleaned up in the lunchroom that day. They gave me like the free lunch pass, and I was picking things left and right. Yeah, give me a hoagie. That's right. I'll take that in this. Like there was no tomorrow.
Let me tell you something. I own that lunchroom.
Oh, really?
Oh, absolutely. That was my domain. I'm shocked they didn't name it after me after I left.
The Chris Carlin Commissary.
Yeah, exactly.
800-919-3776 is the telephone number. Yankee talk when we return, and this lack of offense that the Yanks have exhibited lately is also having a trickle-down effect to what was considered a reliable aspect to this baseball team. We'll talk about that as well. It's Grassa, Carlin, Grassa right here on ESPN New York.
This is Don, Hahn, and Rosenberg.
NBA champion, finals MVP, Jalen Brunson. Describe the experience of what the last month has been like for you.
That's a loaded question. It's been a roller coaster, honestly. Obviously, once we won and everything was up high and everything was amazing. The parade and all of that, just everything after we won was just amazing.
Don, Hahn, and Rosenberg. Weekdays at 3 on ESPN New York and streaming live on YouTube.
Fans arrive early at Yankee Stadium on Saturday, August 8th for the 78th Annual Old Timers Day presented by Fresh Direct. See Yankees legends put on the pinstripes again and take the field at Yankee Stadium. Relive memories of your favorite former Yankees and make new memories with your family. After the Old Timers Day ceremony and game conclude, stick around to see your Bronx Bombers take on Atlanta. Get your Saturday, August 8th Old Timers Day tickets presented by Fresh Direct at Yankees.com/tickets today.
Hey, New York and New Jersey, commitment issues? No problem. Now you can get unlimited talk, text, and data for $25 a month forever, as in for life. Switch now at boostmobile.com. After 30 gigabytes, you may experience slower speeds. Pay $25 a month as long as you stay on the Boost Mobile Unlimited plan.
Tricon Construction is growing across New Jersey, delivering larger, more complex commercial projects with the precision today's developers expect. Because when the timelines, capital, and reputation are all on the line, you need more than a contractor. You need a true construction partner. Tricon brings experienced leadership, disciplined project management, and a team built around accountability and execution. From planning to completion, they build with purpose, professionalism, and pride. For serious commercial projects, build with Tricon. Visit TriconBuilds.com. That's TriconBuilds.com.
Individuals and businesses with tax problems, listen carefully. Do you feel like you're losing control of your finances? If you owe over $10,000 in back taxes or have unfiled tax returns, we can help you take back control. The IRS is the largest and most aggressive collection agency in the world, and they can seize your bank accounts, garnish your paycheck, close your business, and file criminal charges. Take control of your tax problem now by calling the experts at U.S. Tax Shield and take advantage of the Fresh Start program and new laws that that may allow us to negotiate a settlement for the lowest amount possible. Our team of tax attorneys and enrolled agents can stop collections and get you protected so you can take control of your financial future. U.S. Tax Shield offers a price protection guaranteed quote to get you protected today. U.S. Tax Shield is A+ rated with the Better Business Bureau, so call now. 800-687-5192. That's 800-687-5192. U.S. Tax Shield. 800-687-5192.
Congratulations, New York. The Knicks did it. Through battle after battle, they dominated to become this year's NBA champions. Day in and day out, the hard work paid off, and you were there every step of the way. Enjoy the crown. Own it, because this year is your year. A part of your legacy that will never be forgotten. So celebrate this moment, show your pride, and shop the largest selection of official NBA gear at NBAstore.com. A Fanatics experience.
This is DiPietro and Rothenberg.
Did you get your windshield fixed? No, this is a big process. I was scared that the whole thing was just going to shatter inwards. Right. And then I'd be cut with glass. I'd drive off the bridge. I'd be a news story. It's not funny. Why is this funny?
So if that were to happen, God forbid, why wouldn't you just stop the vehicle?
No, you keep going.
Hang a left turn 90 degrees and off the bridge we
Do you
go.
understand what shards of glass would do?
This is DiPietro and Rothenberg.
If that did happen, I would tell people that's how he would have wanted to go.
That's not how I want to go.
Morning Start with DiPietro and Rothenberg. Weekdays from 6 to 10 on ESPN New York and streaming live on YouTube.
Carlin Grassi, ESPN New York on this Friday at 800-919-3776. Talking Yanks, talking baseball. Remember the trade deadline coming up Monday afternoon. Mets made a minor deal last night after they beat the Marlins. We'll talk about that coming up in just a bit. But the Yankees situation, who, they continue their week-long stay in Chicago after splitting 4 with the White Sox. They have the traditional Friday afternoon matinee today at Wrigley Field to take on the Cubbies, so it doesn't get any easier for them. Aaron Boone's going to sit there, Chris, and say that they can't wait for the reinforcements and can't expect there to be new additions that come in from some other team. I know what, like I said earlier, I know what he's trying to do, but I don't actually think that's fair. Because even though we've sat here and said that, we have confidence that the Yankees could get to the postseason, maybe if they're playing a little undermanned. But they can't win a championship the way things are going right now. And I got to be honest with you, I don't necessarily feel as confident about how the final 2 months will unfold if they just sit on their hands and do nothing. Because you can't sit there and hope amongst hope that Judge will come back in a timely manner. Same for Bellinger, Stanton. Because this thing is leaking gas in a major, major way. And what I alluded to before, that the lack of offense is having an impact on another area of this team, that's the bullpen. Look at the last couple of days. They're not scoring runs. You're asking more than from your bullpen to be able to keep the opposing team at bay. Last 2 nights you lost, you didn't have your best reliever pitching because David Bednar was not available. You've asked him to go above and beyond a lot of, in addition to all your other high leverage relievers. This is something that has to be taken care of. In football, we hear complementary football, all 3 phases. It applies to baseball, too. The bats got to start doing their job.
It kind of takes me back to Monday. So Monday or Tuesday, I think. Which game was the first game of the White Sox series? It was Monday.
Monday.
Takes me back to Monday. You use 8 pitchers in that game.
Yep.
8. Like that's something that takes a few days to recover from. And the mere fact that the Yankees actually split with the White Sox after, when you consider that they should have swept, I mean, it's kind of based in moments like that. I couldn't agree more. Like, Dan, the Yankees are not constructed to be a team that beats you in the margins. And if they're asked to do that, I don't know that they can win when this is how they hit. Like, they don't have players who go out there and manufacture runs in any way. Like, that's not even a phrase in baseball anymore, right? Manufacture a run. A walk, a bunt, move them over and get them in. It doesn't even exist anymore. Or steal a base, whatever. Like, that stuff.
No small ball.
Yeah, there's none of it. So if that's the case, you're asking that strength that we have spoken of to turn into a bit of a weakness when you're just overusing it. And so when we discuss Mason Miller, it's one thing to be the complete closeout guy that he would be. It adds more, and the Yankees will actually get a break of having to be able to move one of their starters to the pen a little bit in the postseason. But like, I don't feel like I can continue to not even lean on, kind of just sleep on, physically lie on top of my bullpen trying to get something done.
Yesterday in that lineup for the Yankees, okay, and I understand that everybody wants to poo-poo batting average nowadays. Like, batting, wins for a pitcher, batting average for hitters, that doesn't matter anymore to the analytics crowd, which I think is a joke. There was one guy yesterday, one, that took an at-bat for the New York Yankees that had a batting average on the season of over 255. How is that possible?
Wow.
How is that possible?
I wish I had an answer for you.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's a testament to the operation in general that we're even talking about a team that's still only 3.5 games out of first place. And for the majority of the season has had a pretty good year, but I think that a lot of that is certainly attributed to the production they were getting from guys before the injuries started to appear, and the fact that they've been able to heavily lean on the pitching staff, both the rotation and this bullpen, to keep them afloat. But I mean, like I said, one guy hitting over 255, and that's Ben Rice. How is this going to be acceptable for the next 6 weeks if the injured guys are not back yet?
It's not. Like, why are you going to pitch to Ben Rice?
Why are you going to pitch to Ben Rice? Great point.
Why is – who else – just to be truthful, like, who else even remotely concerns you? Jazz, maybe a little bit. But, like, to me, it feels like for Jazz to damage another team, somebody's just got to make a mistake, right? If that just happens where somebody makes a mistake, he can take you out of the ballpark. Okay. I mean, think about the fact that the guy that actually delivered them the run yesterday was 3 for his last 48 in Trent Grisham. Like, how does that work exactly?
And it was in extra innings, so they don't even get the full benefit of the doubt. They were gifted a guy on second base to begin the inning.
It's maddening to watch, and injuries happen. But the Yankees are supposed to be somebody that can weather that. And I guess you can argue that our definition of weathering it is probably an unfair one. But the thing is, like, when I have the manager that ticked off, he knows what he's looking at. And he knows that if they don't find ways to score runs right now, as constituted, if I'm not getting all of these guys back, I'm not finding ways to score runs in the playoffs either.
Nope.
Against much better pitching. Now, Burke's good pitcher, but still.
The old saying, too, objects in the rearview mirror are actually closer than they may appear.
Yeah.
Well, guess what? That is the Boston Red Sox right now for the Yankees.
Yeah.
Because they won again last night, despite the fact you have, Jarren Duran being a bad teammate again and showing up one of his teammates on the field in the game last. I don't know if you saw this. So
I did not see this. What happened in that part? I did not see that part of it.
So I want to say the game was tied. Jarren Duran up at bat. Contreras was the runner at third base. Less than 2 outs. Fly ball to medium left field. It wasn't deep. It wasn't like medium left field. Contreras does not tag up. And then as Duran is walking off the field back to the dugout, he's got his arms up in the air like this and kind of mouthing stuff like, what the F, like thinking that Contreras should have tagged up to try to score. So, make a long story short, fast forward a couple innings later, Contreras hits the go-ahead home run to kind of make up for it one way or the other. But the Red Sox win again. We know the Red Sox had won 15 in a row. There were only 3 back in the loss column of the Yankees. And right now, Chris, on July the 31st, as these two rosters are presently constituted, the Red Sox are a better team than the New York Yankees.
The way they're playing, certainly. Absolutely they are.
Offensively,
but it's also it's important that we point out that you say as presently constituted because of who's not there at the moment.
Right.
Do you think, and I take a moment to think about this, at 800-919-3776, 800-919-ESPN, does Judge's presence itself just completely change what their mentality is? Now, I know it changes the dynamic of the lineup. I know it changes all those things. But when Judge walks into the locker room and they know that he's off the IL, do all of a sudden the rest of the Yankees start to hit? Because, we got our guy. It's okay. We can do this now. I know logically what difference he's going to make. But just psychologically, what difference he'll make for their
no, I do.
For reappearance.
I do actually. I think he's that important because it's one of those guys, like just his presence alone, and knowing certainly that he's in the lineup and seeing him in that dugout, knowing that, he's on the top step of the dugout because he's playing in the game too, not just, chewing sunflower seeds or whatever, and he's just there to support the guys, knowing that he's in the game and a part of this thing and certainly does a lot to lengthen that lineup, 1,000%. And so, I do think that'll be a huge pick-me-up. The problem is none of us can play God right now, and nobody knows when he's going to be back. And that's, to say the least, pretty damn important, I would say.
One comment here from the ESPN New York chat that I wanted to get in regarding the Bavaro thing. Mikey33, it's like when Gandolfini went on a show to promote The Mexican and only got Sopranos questions. Did you see The Mexican?
Julia Roberts, Brad Pitt?
Yeah.
No, I did not. You?
But you're familiar with its work, clearly.
Yeah, well, absolutely.
Yeah, not a bad film. Not a great film. Not a bad film.
I think that was actually like one of the first movies he did post-Sopranos fame.
I believe that's correct. That and Zero Dark 30 when he played Leon Panetta.
He was also in a movie called The Last Castle, which was like a Robert Redford, like prison kind of movie where Gandolfini was like the prison warden or something like that, and Robert Redford was the prisoner who... I didn't see that one either, but I'm just familiar with the storyline.
All right, good talk.
That's all we got. When we come back, the other team in town, forget about their season being long gone, but you figure they're going to be pretty active over the next 72 hours. Got in on it a little bit last night. What will the weekend have in store for the Mets, and how active should they be? We have a little bit of history that we could possibly draw on as to how resourceful they may or may not be. It is Carlin, Graca. Carlin, ESPN New York.
Mornings with DiPietro and Rothenberg.
Do you know Sven?
I do. Yeah, Sven Butenschon.
Nice.
You know him?
It was on my team. Yeah, Sven Butenschon.
When was the last time you talked to Sven Butenschon?
Not recently, but he's my buddy when we played here.
So if you saw him walking down the street, you'd be like, Sven, it's me, Rick.
Yes. Big hug.
Really?
Oh, yeah.
You know what became of Sven?
DiPietro and Rothenberg. Morning 6 to 10 on ESPN New York and streaming live on YouTube.
There are a million reasons to love New York. Making your budget stretch isn't one of them. According to an independent study, Amazon prices average 14% lower than other retailers. Get food, fashion, furniture, and more shipped straight to your building. Plus, another study found Amazon Prescription Pass customers pay nearly 1/3 less out of pocket. Learn more at aboutamazon.com.
If you've been injured on a construction site, then you need a lawyer who knows New York's unique labor laws. At the Parisman Firm, they have decades of experience handling construction accident cases and a proven track record of delivering huge results. Their team has already recovered nearly $1 billion for hardworking New Yorkers. From scaffold accidents to slip and falls and equipment failures, they've got your back. Call the Parisman Firm now at 718-WORKERS. That's right, 718-WORKERS, because your case is their cause. Get the justice you deserve today.
Calling hard seltzer lovers. Searching for the tastiest seltzer? Look no further. Neutral Vodka Seltzer is absolutely delicious. Made with real vodka and real juice, Neutral keeps it tasty with every sip. With flavors like peach, orange, strawberry, and pineapple, there's something for everyone. Neutral. Keep it tasty. Enjoy responsibly. Copyright 2026 Anheuser-Busch. Neutral flavored vodka and carbonation. 4.5% alcohol by volume. St. Louis, Missouri.
ESPN New York is your home for the world champion New York Knicks. WHSQ and WCBS-FM HD2, New York.
When care matters most, experience matters more. The Allure Group is redefining rehabilitation and long-term care across New York with 6 convenient locations. Their expert clinicians create personalized care plans to help you recover, rebuild, and get back to what matters most. From short-term rehab to long-term care, Allure is committed to comfort, dignity, and results. To learn more, visit allurecare.com. The Allure Group, where care meets compassion.
Progressive knows there's no one more important to your team than your pet. They're like your top draft pick.
And it looks like Chuck has selected Pepper the Corgi. Bold pick there, Deborah.
Yeah, Rich, Pepper has a high ceiling for sure, but he does have a tendency to bark at every tree.
Yeah, he brings a lot to the table, but also takes a lot off of it, especially when it's been left near the edge.
Nothing left to do now but suit him up for the dog park.
Protect your top draft pick from injury and illness with Progressive Pet Insurance. Get a quote at Progressive.com. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company affiliates and third-party insurers. Not available in all states or situations. Covered subject to policy terms.
Harry Douglas here to help you ignite your taste buds with Firework Freeze 5-Hour Energy Shots. Juicy cherry, citrus lime, and blue raspberry. It's that iconic freezer pop flavor, but with none of that guilty sugar aftermath. The perfect summer kick. It's delicious, portable, zero sugar energy shot bursting with flavor. Bring on the summer with Firework Freeze 5-Hour Energy Shots, available online at 5hourenergy.com and on Amazon.
All right, hour 2 on this Friday. It is Carlin Grassa here on ESPN New York at 800-919-3776. That is the telephone number. We'll do a little sideline to sideline, go around the NFL a little bit later on this hour. Giants will practice this afternoon once again at the Greenbrier down in West Virginia. Jets will take Friday off before returning to the practice field tomorrow morning.
So would they practice 2 days or taking a day
2 days?
off?
Yeah, it's all part of the recovery.
It's all about recovery. It's all about. They don't work hard these days, Dan. I'll tell you.
They don't have 2 days anymore, and now they have practice for 2 days, and then we need a break.
They're not the Junction Boys anymore.
No, not the Junction. You kidding me? Bear Bryant would have none of this.
Yeah.
But it's all part of sports science. They're paying a lot of people with the sports science, the recovery, all that stuff. Got to have the Gatorade.
What a sham that is.
What a sham sports science is. Don't even get me started on this AI. Anyway, so trade deadline coming up Monday. With the baseball, we talked about the Yankees. We know that they need to incorporate some bats here. Mets, on the other hand, will not be buyers. They're going to be sellers. And last night after the game, which ironically enough, they've found the winning formula. It took until the end of July, but they've won 4 out of 5. Took a series against the Braves, beat the Marlins last night. Like I've told you, the only thing to glean for the remainder of the season for the Mets is when one of the young pitchers starts. And McClain, who you hope is going to develop into an ace for you moving forward, was very, very solid again last night. Since May the 31st, he's got the best ERA in all of baseball, which is certainly a step in the right direction after rebounding from a rocky month of May. But Luis Robert, of all people, had the go-ahead 2-run single last night. Blind Squirrel finding an acorn just in time, hopefully, for the trade deadline, so he could be shipped out for a bag of balls if David Stearns can work some magic there. But after the game, they trade A.J. Minter, the lefty reliever, to the Minnesota Twins. They get 2 prospects, neither which were ranked in the Twins' top 20 in their system. So the return, not all that great. However, Minnesota does pick up the remaining $3.3 million on Minter's salary. But, you wonder, is that the best they could have done for a guy who, despite having some injury issues since he signed with the Mets, has been fairly okay since putting on the Met uniform, and certainly lefty relievers are a premium.
Listen, it's hard for me to sit here and criticize it, not knowing what the market looks like right now. Certainly, those guys are going to be potentially more at a premium. Would you have been better off served waiting until Monday? Or how much better off would you have been served by waiting until Monday? I can't get worked up by it. I understand the mentality of it. I'm just kind of, you want to get the market to start moving? Like that could be part of it too. I just don't think that A.J. Minter was going to return me a whole lot. Like right now, as you're looking at the tradable commodities for the Mets, what is going to get you the greatest return? And I'll just throw some names out there, and you tell me what could potentially get you the best return of them all. Because, frankly, I don't feel like there's much that's going to get them a great return. All right? Francisco Alvarez, if they were to trade him, you would have to get a pretty good return, wouldn't you, at this point?
You would think, but again, another friggin' pass ball last night. He leads the majors in pass balls at the catching position, and he did yesterday. I mean, he did last year as well. I mean, if there's a team that's still foolish enough to bet on the upside and you can fleece them, that might actually get you a decent haul in return. But if somebody comes calling, I'd certainly be more than willing to listen if I were the Mets.
Okay. Is Bo Bichette going to get you anything? No.
Knowing the fact that he can opt out at the end of the year, I'm not so sure. And I don't think Bo Bichette's going anywhere, to be honest with you.
No, and he actually, if I'm not mistaken, he also has a no trade. He has to agree to it.
Correct. And he's actually been swinging the bat pretty good of late.
Right, which is something that I would love for him to continue to do, because if he opts out, then obviously you'd have $42 million off. I don't know that anybody's going to hand him more than $85 million. That's how you have to look at it, because he's got 2 years left on that deal. Is somebody out there, if he opts out, going to give Bo Bichette more than $85 million right now, even if he has a big second half of the year? Maybe, maybe not. But I think the team that would do that would do it out of the desperation with which the Mets operated when they didn't get Kyle Tucker.
Fair point.
So that's where I'd go with that.
And he
Clay
gets,
Holmes.
remember, and he also gets the way the brilliant structuring of the contract by his representatives. He opts out. Mets have to give him an extra $5 million on top of it, which is genius.
That is amazing. That's the point that we have reached in the empowerment of players. Now, if I decide I want to leave, you got to give me $5 million to leave.
Yeah. I'm taking this with me out the door as well.
Clay Holmes on the DL right now, but certainly teams are asking about it. The Brewers were one of the teams that apparently asked about him. Does Clay Holmes get you the biggest? He's got an opt-out after the season.
Got an opt-out, which could minimize what you get in return. The other thing about a guy like Clay Holmes, though, I still believe, heart of hearts, Scooble's getting traded. Clay Holmes is setting himself up to potentially be like the next best guy out there in the starting pitching market, which is not a bad thing to have, to be quite honest with you.
No, absolutely not. And that's why you would wait for Scooble to actually get moved if you could.
Right.
Because you want to try to force more out of it. Freddie Peralta's not going to get much.
Freddie Peralta's not going to get much, and Freddie Peralta, he's slated to start tonight. And the Mets were kind of wishy-washy as to, as of now, they were saying, like, that's the plan. He's still starting tonight. But wouldn't it be typical Mets? Even if you were getting, like, a low-level prospect for Freddie Peralta, wouldn't, like, it be typical Mets, he pitches tonight, and, he takes a comebacker off his arm or something,
yes.
In the vein of Clay Holmes, and then he's, like, unable to pitch for the next 6 weeks, and they can't trade him?
It would be something stupid like that would happen. Yeah. Yes.
Probably.
Well, listen, I could go through the rest of the guys on the list, but the point is the Luis Roberts, the Sean Manaeas.
Luke Weaver's the guy. Luke Weaver's the guy.
Luke Weaver's the guy. But again, like, what does he actually return? Does Luke Weaver get me back a top 10 prospect out of somebody's system?
He might, because Luke Weaver is controllable for next year, too. When you talk about guys that are not rentals, right? Like, Luke Weaver's not that guy. You brought up Alvarez, which I think is a shot in the dark. I think it's 50-50 one of the two catchers gets moved for the Mets, because even Torrens, they re-signed him to an extension, so he's controllable next year. But the guys that are not rentals would probably get you the most in return. The thing about Weaver, obviously he's having a phenomenal season. The guy has closing ability as well. So, like, some team could look at Luke Weaver and say, we want to bring him in to be our closer, right? So you have that option as well. And I'm all for trading relief pitchers, especially middle relief setup guys, because, like, I subscribe to the theory with baseball that when it comes to those type of arms, they're so kind of like wishy-washy from one season to the next. A guy who's having a great year might not be good the next year. A guy who's bad one year might be good the next year. It's so unpredictable, you have to sell high in that regard. So as much as they don't want to, I think Weaver's a guy that you got to move from.
Yeah, I get that completely. My only thing is, like, I'm not licking my chops at what any return is here. So with that in mind, if somebody comes and goes off the board a little bit, do I try to capitalize? In other words, if somebody comes and says, you know, I like that Christian Scott an awful lot.
Oof.
You know, I like that Nolan McLean an awful lot. Let me give you an excellent return for that. Is it something you consider? The only reason I say this is we're trying to retool this quickly, right, for next year. This is not I'm going to rip this whole thing down. And of course, I'd want to keep young players here. But if I'm David Stearns and I'm trying to keep my job, or I'm actually trying to fix what the problem is, well, I've painted myself into a corner where maybe now I have to consider a lot of different things. If I felt like someone was desperate enough that they were going to give me a lot in a return for a McLean, which I'm not even saying this is going to happen. My point is, don't I consider everything right now?
Yeah. I hear what you're saying.
I don't think it'll happen. But
no, I don't think it'll happen either. But you make a valid point. I mean, what you're saying, but I just don't think they're going to do it. You know, they're also telling you we're open for business, but then in the next breath they say, but we want to contend next year. Like the people within those walls, they seem to think that this year was just a fluke. You know, and they expect to be competitive again next year. Now, the problem is that obviously you have the uncertain situation with the labor agreement, right, in the winter.
Yeah.
Nobody knows how that's going to play out. And even if they do get something settled, what are the parameters going to be? That's number one. And number two, this free agent class across baseball is not very good for next winter. Lockout or no lockout, it's not a great free agency class. So if that's the case, you know, a lot of the same faces that you see wearing a Met uniform this year, you might also see those guys next year too, because what are the options? And then you can also look at the fact that maybe the over-aggressiveness that David Stearns applied to last winter, where he made so many changes to that core in such a short amount of time, that had an impact on the disappointing performance on the field this year, that maybe he doesn't want to be as rash again next offseason.
Yeah, I think what frustrates me the most, and I know what you mean about not being rash, is that as I sit here at the deadline and I go through my whole roster, I don't have a lot for a $400 million payroll just from a talent standpoint.
Right.
That would really fetch me a lot back.
No, you're right.
That's like the worst combination you can possibly have.
What would fetch you back, like you said, are these so-called untouchables, and they're not moving those guys. You know what I mean? Like, look, the jury is still out on Benj and Ewing. Nobody's going to sit here and say that they're future all-stars. Nobody knows that. But they've shown enough potential early on to where you say, I'm going to let these guys develop here, and they're obviously low-cost, controllable players. Soto's not going anywhere. Lindor's probably not going anywhere because it's too complicated with the contract, the no trade, all these other things. And then the two young pitchers, I don't think they're moving either because, you know, controllable starting pitching is something that everybody values. So, yeah, you're 1,000% right in what you say about what they have to offer. Now, the other thing, too, and we were talking about this before the show, the guys on the broadcast were talking about it earlier in the week, Gelbs and all them, they did some homework. In the last 10 years for the Mets, the few times that they were obvious sellers in the middle of the season like they are this year, they never really got a lot back in prospect return.
No, they didn't.
You know, the best prospect they got in return during those years was a guy by the name of Drew Smith, who was nothing more than a middle relief pitcher. You know, and Lucas Duda was the guy that they traded away for him down to Tampa Bay. So, like, if that's what you're banking on, like, remember when they had the fire sale a couple of years ago with the Verlander and the Scherzer and those guys, their return was not very good because the majority of the guys they thought were going to be big returns, they're not even in the organization anymore. They've moved on from those guys, too.
Yeah, and that's particularly frustrating. And it's not... when you can't get, and this is why I always make the argument for if you have a chance to go after it and to trade away prospects, I do it. Because too many times I've seen those teams give in and end up giving the big time prospect up, and that guy does not pan out.
Right.
Like I think about teams. I think about like Cliff Lee. Remember Cliff Lee in 2010? Sure. He gets moved to Texas. They gave up Justin Smoke, who was supposed to be one of the great power hitting first basemen in the game, and turned out to be nothing. Deadline deals are always worth it to me because it's not a 50-50 proposition in my mind. So that's why I don't have a problem if the Yankees decide to give up George Lombard in a trade to go and get Mason Miller. Because, George Lombard might be something, but all the things that I hear about Lombard, I heard about Anthony Volpe. And here we are.
Heard about Jason Dominguez.
Yeah.
Right.
That, God forbid, from age 16 on, if you would even mention Jason Dominguez's name in a trade proposal, the Lord himself would strike down upon thee.
Yes.
I mean...
And the Lord had Jason Dominguez on his fantasy team, too, so he wasn't going to want to part ways with him either.
Well, listen, he knew what he was doing in drafts.
He knew what he was doing.
But even God can't be a great fantasy baseball player.
No, I mean it's you got it every single day. You got to look at the roster and set your lineups. I mean,
do you play fantasy baseball still?
No.
Yeah, me neither. Then the reason is that I can't be the guy that every last second is going to monitor who the Blue Jays are bringing up to play third base tomorrow.
Yeah, that's not for me.
And I love sports, love them, live for them. That's why football for me is perfect.
It's a once-a-week proposition.
Yes.
Well, and I agree with you about the prospect thing. You know what I'm saying? Because prospects, they got the talent, they got this, but the overwhelming majority of guys in the minor leagues, high draft choices, whatever, majority of those guys don't pan out. I'm not saying that they don't make the majors, but they don't have, forget about Hall of Fame careers. They don't even have all-star careers. They're just guys. They're the obscure guys that we play a game at 12:20, or we look them up on Baseball Reference to see if they're alive or dead or not. It's guys like that. And I don't mean to disparage, but it's true. And so if you're going to tell me you have a proven major leaguer, or in the case of a young player, like we talked about these like young players for the Mets, for example, like guys who even if it's just a couple of years of service time already in the big leagues, they've shown that they could be successful in the big leagues. You got me. I'm listening. I'm willing to go forward with you.
800-919-3776, 800-919-ESPN. Let's get to some calls. Let's get a couple in. Some have been waiting. Some want to get after us. So let's get after them. We'll start with Sharky in Barnegat, New Jersey. Sharky, you're on ESPN New York.
Good morning, boys. Good morning.
How you doing?
Yep, I got to get over you guys a little bit. Carlin, you're my guy. But yesterday, your take on the mozzarella and Carosa, you were all over the place with that.
What are you talking about?
But that's...
Wait a minute. No. Clarify. How was I all over the place?
This and that.
How was I all over the place?
Mozzarella sticks. Then you said it was fried cheese. Then you said it was a sandwich. Then you said it was thin sliced bread. Anyway, that's it here. I love.
All right. So where did I didn't say it was mozzarella sticks. First of all, I'd never said.
No. You were comparing it a little bit to mozzarella sticks.
Yeah. Yes.
No, I brought up the mozzarella sticks as something else.
Yeah. Anyway, so 2 pieces of bread, mozzarella cheese. Dip it in egg and milk, and then in flour, then deep fry it. It's one of the most amazing things ever.
It's fantastic.
Right.
This is what we can agree on, Shark.
Great.
It's fantastic.
Yeah, okay. But I really called for Dan, and I give you credit, Chris, for not jumping all over him on Monday when he became the only person ever to refer to Guy Lafleur as Gay Lafleur, and had the nerve to say that my guy, Bobby Orr, used to call Hockeytown USA Detroit. Neither one of those has ever happened until Monday. And I give you credit. If that would have been a caller calling in and saying that, you would have jumped all over them. But
no, here's the thing. Dan has proven himself.
I know you wanted to.
Listen, I think if we know one thing, Sharky, it's that I'm not the sharpest tool in the shed. And as much as it counts in sports talk radio to act as if you know everything all the time, every once in a while, I'll be able to internally admit that I don't, and I let it go. Did I want to maybe stay away from the fact that it was, you're saying Gay LaFleur instead? Yeah, okay,
ridiculous.
maybe. But I also gave him the benefit of the doubt. Maybe that's true in Canada or somewhere. I don't know.
Yeah.
No, believe me, it's not. It's not true in Canada. It's not true when he was with the Rangers. It's not true anywhere. And Bobby Orr, my guy, my favorite hockey player of all time, never referred to Hockey Town USA as Detroit. I can guarantee you that.
Dan.
And neither has anybody else.
Dan, your retort.
Just wanted to get that off my chest.
Sharky,
Dustin Byfuglian.
Sharky, have we ever spoken before or no?
He's gone. I didn't cut him off, but he's gone.
Joe had the kill button there. I want to know if we had ever spoken before. I don't have a retort. I mean, he has me dead to rights. What can I say? But,
so you're wrong?
Because of that, though, and I wasn't really intended on doing this, I will try to produce the Detroit, or somebody else can, because, again, I don't. I mean, Sharky waited on hold for an hour. He has nothing better to do on a Friday morning to spew that nonsense. In my career, an actual paid day of work where my voice was projected on a national airwave, okay? I remember vividly that day we were combing over Bobby Orr or something like that and the Detroit, and a few of us that I was working with, we had a chuckle or two about that. So I guarantee if it happened once, it probably happened multiple times. I will try to produce said audio so we can air it on the air.
So this was not a case where you just came out and said something like the original name of War and Peace was war, what is it good for?
No, nothing like that.
It wasn't like that where you just wanted playing a joke on us.
No, there's probably some other Canadians that probably refer to it as Detroit as well. But again, Sharky knows it all, and what can I say? He got me. And also with the Gay LaFleur thing, you also had folks north of the border that would also refer to him as Gay LaFleur as well, that I would hear, and me and my buddies would laugh about it as sophomoric as we were. So these were things, but like I said, I know nothing. Who am I? Like I said, I just got this gig by accident. He got me, Chris.
Wow.
He got me. Got me.
I mean, I didn't want him to. It just kind of feels like a little under the skin.
No, not under the skin.
No? Not under the skin?
No.
Okay.
Because I'm going to go. No, but now I am going to make it a point, though, to find.
Now you're going to find him saying Detroit.
Yes.
Yeah.
100%.
Okay. How about Willie?
And then I want him to call back and wait on hold for another hour.
See, now you just sound like Francesa. He called up, he waited an hour to say that about the New York Giants and the San Francisco Giants having lunch.
Which was fantastic, by the way.
I got to give him credit. He did make fun of himself a little bit, which is not something that he does very much. When Eli Manning did one of those Eli's Places or something like that, and they had Mike walk into a room where it was, I forget who it was from the Giants wearing his uniform, and a San Francisco Giant, it might have been Buster Posey, or I'm making that up, somebody like that, actually sitting down and having lunch.
The Giants and the Giants. It was tremendous.
Exactly.
And that was like Eli or something,
yes,
right?
Yes, that was like Eli's Places or something like that, yeah. I got to give him credit. He made fun of himself for that. Making fun of himself was not something that Mike wanted to do very often.
No, definitely not.
How about Willie in North Carolina next on ESPN New York? Willie, what's going on, bud? How are you?
I'm doing okay. This is what I got to say. George Steinbrenner must be turned over in his grave. How can you have a leader hitter that's got about 4 hits in about his last 50-something at bat? You got a catcher that's no better. You got a third baseman that's no better. If he can crawl his skeleton ass out of the coffin, he would fire Boone, Cashman, and tell Hal to get the hell out of his office and give him back his team. That's all I got to say.
Dan, your thoughts?
Are we still playing the if George was still around type thing? Is that what we're doing?
Listen.
Can I ask you, when is that going to go away? Do you think that'll ever go away?
No. even in 2050. If George was here, and that'll be guys like in 2050, it'll be guys who were 35 years old right now saying it. Who would never even really remember George. If George was still here, we wouldn't do this. This wouldn't be going on. I mean, really.
Well,
gotta help us out.
Not for nothing. If George was around, like for real, if George was around, what was he going to do? Like put a gun to Cashman's head and say, go out there and get me a bat? Like, okay, you brought up the name earlier. Like, would Bryce Harper be a Yankee if George – but he might have been a Yankee when he was a free agent. Forget about now. But Bryce Harper coming to the Yankees if George was still around?
Yeah, he would have been a Yankee.
Skubal a Yankee, but Skubal, is that what really helps them the most, or is that their biggest need right now?
No, of course not.
No.
Of course not. 800-919-3776. I'm also I'm excited about one thing. Well, I'm excited about two things. I'm excited about, can you name that guy who was on that team? Where I'm 0-4 this week, yet it has not tempered my excitement for the game at all. But Ray, so I made this point yesterday. If you were telling me in advance, which you basically were, that we were going to do an early 80s Mets team, that you did that, Dan said, now do I get the pick of my wheelhouse? Well, What is that going to be? Because I knew a little bit, Dan knew a little bit in advance who that was going to be. And I'm not saying I want to go look guys up, because I will honor the spirit of the game. But does Dan now get the chance to pick what his wheelhouse would be? Well, I mean, Ray screening a call. Is that
Ray screening a call?
Like if I asked you what your wheelhouse would be, you had a 2006 Jets wheelhouse the other day.
I wouldn't even call that a wheelhouse. If you want to go wheelhouse, I'd go back even further to like the 90s or something.
With the Jets? Or
yeah, believe it or not. Yeah, because think about it, because when you're younger, you have like less obligation, less responsibility. You like consume yourself more in like sports. That's how I always looked at it. You could devote 24/7 to, sports and your obsession with that. You don't have any, real life things to worry about.
To answer your question, Chris, no, Dan does not get to choose. You didn't really choose. You just said, this is where my wheelhouse is, and I'd mop the floor with Dan. And so I went with it, and it was a good game yesterday.
And I lost.
It was a good effort.
So, Ray, what do you suggest for today? What do you suggest?
Today, I am going to there may be some football or there may be some basketball. I'll let you guys decide which sport you want. I have two prepared, and then we'll go with the one that you wish.
There may be some football. There may be some basketball. What do you want?
The 1991 New York, New Jersey Knights of the World League of American Football.
Are they owned by the president there?
No, that
was the Generals.
Right.
Yeah. That was the New Jersey Generals.
USFL.
Yeah. Herschel Walker. He paid.
So
Herschel
I get no
Walker
choice. I get nothing. I'm out.
What do you mean you're
gave
out?
you the layup on Tuesday with the Jets.
That wasn't a layup.
Dan, come on.
How about this? And this would be dunking on the rim. Okay.
You dunk anywhere else?
You tell me if you're on board with this. If you go back to like my wheelhouse, let's say Jet teams, okay, during those like 90s, how about I'm not even allowed to name a starter on those teams? I might be able to get it done.
No, I don't want to tie a hand behind your back.
I might be able to get it done with just backups.
No. Then you are just 100% placating me. No, I'm not. I'm not an invalid over here.
No, you're not invalid.
Well, but that's what you're making it like I'm your son. I'm your 5-year-old son, and you're playing me a Monopoly. No, you know what? Listen, every third roll, I have to go to jail.
Or no, it's like or remember the Don LaGreca softball game each summer, where like the other team, when they hit their more than their third home run of the inning, it counts as an out.
But here's the thing.
Yeah.
Can I talk about that for a second? Because that's coming up here soon.
Yeah.
why has this, like when I first played in that was an actual game. I've played in it, I think, 3 times, and I'm going to be in it this year. But why did that all of a sudden turn into we're bringing in ringers to play us? And I got, Buttle at first base in a pair of loafers, no socks. Meanwhile, I got 10 guys who were hitting rockets out of the place. And you're right. If they can only hit home runs to right field, and they're all right-handed hitters.
And they have to bat lefty.
Yes.
As right-hand. Well, no. First of all, as you know, Buttle never wears socks, so I don't think that the loafers and no socks was an accident. He never wears socks.
No, it wasn't an accident.
That's number one. So the way it works is, like what that day is, there's a softball league with a bunch of these like men's teams, and they play like a tournament all day long.
I know.
So the kicker of it, to make us feel even worse about our performance, is the team that we play, who is the champion of their little like tournament. That's like when they play us is like their 10th game of the day.
That's not even their booby prize.
Right. That's the
they've
already
thing
played for hours.
That's their payoff.
Yeah, and they still get to annihilate us.
Yeah. We got sideline to sideline coming up. We've
right.
got that as well. You know what? I'm here. I'm going to do it. I'm here. I'm grabbing the wheel for a second. It's Carlin. It's Grassa. It's ESPN New York.
This is DiPietro and Rothenberg.
Did you get your windshield fixed? No, this is a big process. I was scared that the whole thing was just going to shatter inwards. Right. And then I'd be cut with glass. I'd drive off the bridge. I'd be a news story. It's not funny. Why is this funny?
So if that were to happen, God forbid, why wouldn't you just stop the vehicle?
No, you keep going.
Hang a left turn 90 degrees and off the bridge we
Do you
go.
understand what shards of glass would do?
This is DiPietro and Rothenberg.
If that did happen, I would tell people that's how he would have wanted to go.
That's not how I want to go.
Morning Start with DiPietro and Rothenberg. Weekdays from 6 to 10 on ESPN New York and streaming live on YouTube.
Hey, New York and New Jersey. Commitment issues? No problem. Now you can get unlimited talk, text, and data for $25 a month forever, as in for life. Switch now at boostmobile.com. After 30 gigabytes, you may experience slower speeds. Pay $25 a month as long as you stay on the Boost Mobile Unlimited plan.
Hey, Yankees fans. Join us at Yankee Stadium on Friday, August 21st, as the Yankees take on the Toronto Blue Jays. And don't miss Cody Bellinger Bobblehead Night, presented by T-Mobile. The first 18,000 guests through the gates will take home an exclusive Cody Bellinger bobblehead. Get here early, grab the giveaway, and cheer on the Bronx Bombers. Tickets are available now at Yankees.com/tickets.
Cars for Kids. KARS Cars for Kids. 1-877 Cars for Kids. Donate your car today. 1-877 Cars for Kids. KARS Cars for Kids. 1-877 Cars for Kids. Donate your car today.
Ready to get rid of that old car? Donate it to Cars for Kids. Call 877-CARS-4-KIDS to speak to a friendly live agent. Donation is super easy, and your car can be picked up as soon as tomorrow. Go to carsforkids.org now or call 877-CARS-4-KIDS to donate your car today.
1-877 Cars for Kids. KARS Cars for Kids. 1-877 Cars for Kids.
Did you know you can donate real estate too? Go to carsforkids.org. That's cars with a K.
This is Don, Hahn, and Rosenberg.
NBA champion, finals MVP, Jalen Brunson. Describe the experience of what the last month has been like for you.
That's a loaded question. It's been a roller coaster, honestly. Obviously, once we won and everything was up high and everything was amazing. The parade and all of that, just everything after we won was just amazing.
Don, Hahn, and Rosenberg. Weekdays at 3 on ESPN New York and streaming live on YouTube.
Hi, this is Don LaGreca. Just like the New Jersey Devils bring intensity on the ice, Viking Pest Control brings the same level of protection to your home. And I know because I use Viking at my own place. The season may be over, but pests are always in play. So it's time to lock in your off-season defense. As the pest control provider and proud partner of the Devils, Viking delivers 45 years of trusted experience to keep ants, cockroaches, stinging insects, rodents, mosquitoes, and more out of your zone. And when you bundle pest control mosquito services, you score big savings. One call, one company, total peace of mind. Visit VikingPest.com. Protecting your home inside and out.
Miller time. People think it just happens, but that's not true. You know what you gotta do? You gotta go say hello with some beers. Make the plans. Forget the couch. Go to that thing. Play the game. See them in person. Talk to that stranger. Live a little. Small acts of rebellion that bring us together. Because legendary moments start with a light. It's Miller time. Celebrate responsibly. 2026 Miller Brewing Company, Milwaukee, Wisconsin.
That's the ease at which you get information. You want it, you get it. Like that. Ask your phone. Group chat. Smartphone. You're always connected and informed in real time. No waiting. So if you're diabetic and still using finger sticks to read your blood sugar, what are you waiting for? Knowing your blood sugar levels instantly is important for managing diabetes. Call US Med at 888-665-0696. To learn more about continuous glucose monitors, a real-time instant method to track your blood glucose, US Med is an approved provider for Medicare and over 1,000 private insurers. And the best part? Call 888-665-0696 and we'll give you a free insurance benefits check today. So call 888-665-0696 today. That's 888-665-0696 and manage your diabetes as easy as...
Bart Carlin here on ESPN New York. 800-919-3776, the telephone number. Going to go sideline to sideline here in just a short order. Let me remind you, though, in the meantime, that Christopher Carlin and I, you know we're going to be on Monday, right? I'm not breaking any news to you, right?
Where?
We are going to be at One Jets Drive, Florham Park. Ooh. That is a community in New Jersey. That's right. Ooh, doing the program live 10 to 1 on Monday. Jets training camp. How about that?
I'm excited for that. No, that'll be good. I always like going out to camp. I always enjoy it. And, I can't wait to talk to all the primary focal points of this Jets team this year.
We will talk to players, people affiliated with the organization, all of the above. And it'll be cool. It'll be my first chance to get out there for training camp because, see, Aaron Glenn didn't consult with me before he set the schedule for camp, but he has the practices bright and early in the morning, and that's when we're on the air doing the whole work thing, so I haven't been able to get out there. So That's going to be my first chance. I'm looking forward to it on Monday.
So here's my question. They practice like 8 o'clock, right? They practice very early.
I want to say 8 or 8:30 is the Monday practice, yeah.
So if I were to come out that early, I could theoretically watch practice for a bit, yeah?
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, they're not going to blindfold you. Yeah, you're going to be there. You are going to be able to take in all that they have to offer for sure.
Well, I just, listen, football teams are very secretive for the most part, and I don't know who lets who watch what and how that all goes. And I've got a face that people see that it just angers people at times. Like,
yeah, but I don't think they look at you and say, that's like a spy for, the Miami Dolphins or something like that.
I don't think they even look at me at all. I don't think there's a reason for the Jets to ever look at me and say, I can't have that guy here. Unless it's just, I'm bringing the bad vibes.
No, I don't think you're bringing bad vibes. But no,
I want Aaron Glenn in the middle of practice to blow his whistle twice, have them hit the air horn to stop practice and say, that guy, I need those vibes out of here.
No, that's not the case. That's not
that guy. That's not my kind of guy.
Training camp, though, remember, everybody's allowed to, you cover the team. You're right there on the sidelines. You're watching the practice. So, yeah, there's no secrets or anything like that.
All right, I'm looking forward to that.
And hopefully the weather cooperates, which is all we can ask for here.
I'm sure it will.
Hey, Ray, How about we do a little sideline to sideline?
It's gonna happen. This is Sideline to Sideline.
Go. Sideline to sideline. I think the Jets might be saying, hey, didn't we let Joe Douglas go? Oh, no, wait, that's Chris Carlin. So we'll start sideline to sideline with a pretty popular team in the NFL and their starting quarterback, Dak Prescott.
We want stuff in life a lot of times, but then, when people start talking about it, you kind of hesitate. Like, should I say that, if they're going to hold me to it? Well, absolutely. Playing in this organization, being in it 10 years, right, going into year 11, I'm not going to shy away from it. Like, when you don't have it, it sucks. When you don't get to play for it, when you're watching other teams play in the playoff, like, there's nothing worse than that. And so, yeah, I said I'd be the quarterback for the Dallas Cowboys when I was 6 years old, and said I'd be in the NFL, and I got here. A lot of things in my life, I said I'd do, and I did it. And so, like, why shy away from that now? Why shy away from asking people to hold me to the same standard that I believe that I can accomplish and this team can accomplish? And so I don't know if the T-shirt was, this is it, as much as, hell, I've said it in the offseason. I've said it before. I know Shotty's spoken about it. We've got certain teammates and leaders that'll do the same. So, yeah, it was an energy thing.
Do you believe year 11 for him, by the way? 11 years?
I know. It's hard to believe that, but I've always felt like I don't think he gets the respect that he deserves as a player. Now, there have been times where he's been disappointing, okay? I can't get around that, especially, a couple of times in the postseason. But I don't think he gets the respect that he deserves as the level of player that he has been in the league. Let me ask you a question right now. And I think I know the answer to it at the moment. Is he one of those guys that at the end of his career, you're going to be able to look at him and say, well, he needed to win a Super Bowl to be into, or at least get to a Super Bowl to be in the Hall of Fame? Or is Dak Prescott somebody that actually could be a Hall of Famer without any of that? I know it's kind of crazy for me to suggest that, but when you look at it, it's actually not.
Obviously, the numbers and everything offensively for a quarterback are a little bit more inflated. Like, to compare him to, like, other generations, for example. Well, I'll give you an example. You know what he potentially could be? And we're decades removed from it? Another guy who never got to a Super Bowl, but he was a surefire Hall of Famer. How about Dan Fouts with the Chargers?
Yeah, the problem, well, listen, it was a more wide-open game at that time. Wide open in that Fouts would throw it anywhere, and he threw.
Well, that was the Coryell offense, but again, like,
I love Fouts.
Right.
And
nowadays,
to me, Fouts is a Hall of Fame quarterback.
Right. He's that
good.
He's that good. I think if Dak, remember, the Cowboys figure to have one of the most explosive offenses in the league again, and they've put up numbers. Like, they've been a top-flight offense now for a while. I think, I'll give you another guy who, I've had battles about this guy for a very long time. Like, I think when push comes to shove, you may disagree. I think Phillip Rivers is getting in the Hall of Fame.
Yeah, I think he probably is.
Right? Never went to a Super Bowl.
Right. I think he probably is.
Phillip Rivers' best day, and he's had playoff disappointments, Phillip Rivers. Their best days, Phillip Rivers, Dak Prescott, in the peak of their careers. Like, comparable?
Yeah. Yeah.
So there you go. That's the answer. I think, yeah, he probably could find his way into the Hall of Fame without getting to a Super Bowl. But again, it depends, like, on what scale we're talking about, playoff disappointments and things like that.
So Dak right now has 35,000 yards passing, 243 touchdowns, 92 interceptions. He's got 4 years of 30-plus touchdowns.
What'd you say, 243 to 92 touchdown to INT? That's pretty damn good, man.
That is pretty damn good. And I'm looking at the other guys who are around him right now. And can we agree that Dak has 5 more years as the Cowboys quarterback?
Absolutely.
Yep. 5 more prime years. Right?
I don't see why not. Remember, this day and age where you can't touch the quarterback, the quarterbacks play a lot longer than they used to, for sure.
So let's say if he has 5 more years, I'll be very conservative and say that he throws for 18,000 more yards.
Mm-hmm.
That's less than 4,000 a year. Okay? That will put him at roughly 53,000 in his career. If he has 53,000 career yards, he will have to be a Hall of Famer, because the only people that will be in front of him at that point will be the aforementioned Phillip Rivers. He will be 12th all time at 53,000 yards. And the guys in front of him from 11 on down: Eli Manning, Marino, Matt Ryan, Rivers, Roethlisberger, Stafford, Rodgers, Favre, Peyton Manning, Drew Brees, Tom Brady. All of them are Hall of Famers, correct? We think Eli's going to be one at some point.
Is Matt Ryan a Hall of Famer?
I think he probably is. 62,000 yards, 381 touchdowns, 183 interceptions.
Matt Ryan has an MVP award.
Has an MVP.
Has an MVP, but he, the one Super Bowl he went to, he's the author of the greatest Super Bowl collapse of all time.
Was it his fault, or was it Kyle Shanahan's fault for not running the football?
Hey, man, there's two people who get a win and a loss attached to their name in football: the head coach and the quarterback.
That's a great point.
You know, only two.
All right, next.
Dak and Phil Rivers both got to play for a Schottenheimer.
That's a fair point.
Santa Clara, California.
Maybe that should work in their favor.
Ricky Pearsall having some knee trouble. So what do the 49ers do? They sign back Deebo Samuel.
Deebo Samuel.
Yeah.
Well, Sharky's going to call and said that nobody pronounces his name that way.
Juan did it.
Yeah, like Juan Samuel.
I would say that I'm very curious to see how much he can help at this point.
Right.
This Pearsall thing, this is a big deal for the 49ers. That guy is a really good player when he's healthy. Now, he hasn't been healthy for, obviously outside the box reasons initially, but when he has been on the field, that dude is a really good receiver. They did not miss on that draft pick. And if you're bringing back Deebo, Deebo is not a strictly great receiver. He's a guy who's more of a gadget guy.
The thing about Deebo, and look, this happens, don't get me wrong, but isn't it incredible how he really has, he was considered, remember when he wanted his money and he was trying, he was as good a weapon, and I think the 49ers system and Shanahan had a lot to do with that too, but he was as important and versatile a weapon as there was in the NFL for a couple of years. And now, like you said, we're at the point where, and I agree with you, what you just said, you don't know what you're getting from him. You don't know how much he's going to contribute at all. The fall from grace has been pretty quick.
Yeah. Yeah, I would expect that Samuel at this point, I don't think he's done, but I don't think he's anywhere near who he was with the 49ers the first time around.
Adjust your expectations, I think, is a fair way to put it.
Again, you and nuance, like sports radio, Dan, can we just speak in absolutes and not consider facts and such?
He'll get hit by a bus. Was that too absolute for you or no?
Next.
And then in 2 weeks we'll play. With us or not? To close out Sideline to Sideline, we go down
well done, Ray.
to the Atlanta
See, Ray's funny.
Falcons.
Ray's
Wide
funny.
receiver Drake London. Congratulations to him and Sophia Gabby. I don't know what it is. I don't go to these influencers.
What's the matter, Ray? You didn't log on to the registry list?
No, I didn't. But the story here is his proposal. Back when they 3 years ago went on a second date, she shared a bit of information, and he came through during the proposal, that he proposed to her in front of a Taco Bell dinner. There was other, accoutrement around, but her love of Taco Bell had him with gorditas and crunch wraps on a plate in front of their proposal.
Listen, I
have
was there
so
first
many
date at a
questions.
Taco Bell? I don't know where you proposed. I had no plan when I was going to propose. And what happened was I picked up the ring, and it was when I had it, I was immediately nervous to have it. And it was like burning a hole in my pocket. And I physically did not want to have this ring on me anymore. So it was almost like I just shoveled it in her direction. We're driving past where we had our first date in the city, which was a place on 84th Street called the Time Cafe. And I just kind of like, here, take it.
So it was not a proposal. It was a shovel.
It was a shovel pass. And thankfully, Sam Mills did not jump in front of Bubby Brister and run it the other way.
Was it like the play action fake? I mean, like, what was it or whatever?
But my point was that, like, it was where our first date was, and that was where I literally just thought of it as I was driving up Broadway and 84th. Oh, there's that place. Let me stop. I'll do it right here and get it over with.
Shout out getting a good parking spot in the city, too.
Somehow it happened. It just opened. See? The Lord.
Short notice.
Yeah, exactly.
Short notice. So many questions about that. Like, did he only buy what her favorite menu item was and make sure that was on the table, or did he just almost go buffet style and got like a little bit of everything?
Kind of sounds like Ray.
Yeah, there was a bit of everything there.
And then I got to ask the question. Did they consume any of the food? Was the proposal mid-meal? Was it in between the gordita and the crunch wrap? Like, did they propose first?
I think there was a proposal, and they probably celebrated by enjoying a gordita. And
that's what I mean. Like, so they stayed and then finished the meal.
Good positive publicity for Taco Bell here.
And then did they have family members present, and then they had to spring for some crunch wraps for the family because then you don't want them to be hungry?
I hate to break this up for a second. We do have a little bit of breaking news.
Yeah.
And it appears that your television viewing habits this fall in relation to the NFL might be changing in a significant way.
Yeah, no
We'll
kidding.
explain. Next, it's Carlin Grassa, ESPN New York.
This is the Michael K. Show.
I think that when you watch a team every single day, I think we get more of a harsh perspective because teams that are having quote unquote good years, the injury decimated Yankees play those teams and they seem to handle them quite well. Maybe things are not as bad as we all think they are because we're watching them every single day.
The Michael K. Show, weekdays at 1 on ESPN New York and streaming live on YouTube. Presented by the Parisman Firm.
Good Karma Brands is proud to be an equal opportunity employer, providing equal employment, development, and advancement opportunities to all teammates and applicants. To learn more about careers with us, please send an email to talentacquisition@goodkarmabrands.com. That's talentacquisition@goodkarmabrands.com.
There you were, surrounded by fans. Everybody remembers the game. Nobody remembers the guy coughing behind you. Till a few days later, at 2 a.m., you wake up with a fever and your throat's on fire. Now what? Urgent care? Closed. ER? Slammed. Telehealth? Maybe, but the pharmacy's closed. You needed a medical emergency kit. These aren't first aid kits. They contain essential prescriptions used for over 30 common conditions. Sinus and ear infection, UTIs, stomach bugs, traveler's diarrhea, and more on hand before you need them. Use your doctor-developed guidebook to select the right prescription or call their telemedicine doctor standing by. It's like an urgent care and drugstore at home. When you're sick, traveling, or stranded, you'll wish you'd ordered a medical emergency kit. Order online in minutes and it's shipped to your door. And save $45 with my promo code 880 at urgentcarekit.com/880. That's promo code 880 at urgentcarekit.com/880.
Calling hard seltzer lovers. Searching for the tastiest seltzer? Look no further. Neutral Vodka Seltzer is absolutely delicious. Made with real vodka and real juice, Neutral keeps it tasty with every sip. With flavors like peach, orange, strawberry, and pineapple, there's something for everyone. Neutral. Keep it tasty. Enjoy responsibly. Copyright 2026 Anheuser-Busch. Neutral flavored vodka and carbonation. 4.5% alcohol by volume. St. Louis, Missouri.
At City Harvest, we believe no New Yorker has to go hungry. With your help, we're on the road 365 days a year, rescuing over 77 million pounds of nutritious food and delivering it free to millions of New Yorkers, transforming surplus food into sustenance, sustainability, and smiles, rallying thousands of New Yorkers to power a network of nourishment across our city. One day, one meal, and one New Yorker at a time. That's how we feed good. Donate at cityharvest.org.
You know the feeling. That rush when you reach that goal, make somebody brag a little back home, that's success. And at University of Maryland Global Campus, we believe you should never stop chasing it. That's why UMGC offers an accredited skills-based education that helps move your career forward. We'll teach you how to apply emerging technologies like AI and data science, plus build your skills in leadership, communication, and critical thinking. Explore more than 100 degrees and certificates in business, cybersecurity, healthcare, and more. With affordable and online programs, you can unlock new opportunities to help you succeed again. At UMGC, success is yours for the taking and the making, and nothing should keep you from it, especially not an application fee. Apply now and we'll waive your application fee. Classes start August 12th. Learn more at umgc.edu. That's umgc.edu. Certified to operate in Virginia by Chev.
Congratulations, New York. The Knicks did it. Through battle after battle, they dominated to become this year's NBA champions. Day in and day out, the hard work paid off, and you were there every step of the way. Enjoy the crown. Own it, because this year is your year. A part of your legacy that will never be forgotten. So celebrate this moment, show your pride, and shop the largest selection of official NBA gear at NBAstore.com. A Fanatics experience.
Well, you figured something was coming after the news of this past weekend, and especially after the story and the police cam came out. CBS has announced that Tony Romo is, quote, on leave from his role at CBS Sports until further notice. And J.J. Watt will be working with Jim Nantz and Tracy Wolfson on the number one team for CBS this fall.
Wait. So this fall?
It's not for the entire fall. It just says, until further notice, Tony Romo is on leave from his role at CBS Sports.
See, so we obviously, like, we were talking about this during the break. Okay, a couple of things. Number one, you would like to think that this now extends into the beginning of the football season, because if that's the case, why even say anything if you're CBS? Like, we were talking about it. Normally speaking, if you're a Tony Romo, you're not doing anything in July and August for CBS to where you would have to be put on leave. Like, CBS is airing one preseason game nationally, and it's the third and final preseason weekend, and it's like Bengals-Eagles. The number one team does not do that game. Nobody of significance is going to play in that game. They don't send the number one team. So the next time Tony Romo will be on the air for CBS calling a game will be week one. And I think it's probably going to be Bills-Texans, the week one game for CBS. It's either that or Packers-Vikings would get the primo assignment for week one. That's September 13th.
Yeah.
So that's like 6 weeks away.
Yeah, no. My take is he's not starting the season at the very least.
That's what it tells me.
When they say until further notice, and J.J. Watt will join Jim Nantz and Tracy Wolfson as their lead NFL team during his absence, they're telling me he's missing time during the year at least. I'll tell you what I think is happening here. There's been a universal acknowledgement across like NFL fans and circles that since Romo got that contract, which was 10 years at, 17 per?
Yeah.
That the work ethic has not exactly been stellar.
Right. It was after that first year, it's kind of gone, steadily south. And Joe Leo brought up the fact that the court date is like September 20-something.
September 21st. At the very least, that's not until that's right. Exactly.
Right. So that's after week 2 of the season already. So CBS probably said, all right, at the very least, we're not going to put him on the air until you at least have the court date. And the fact, as you said, that the J.J. Watt name was mentioned specifically tells you that, yeah, he's not starting the season. And my God, I mean, if CBS was looking for an out from this contract,
this is my point.
Yeah, leave it to the individual who made it easy on them, because if they are looking for an out, there's probably language in that contract now which gives them the possibility of walking away.
Well, you and I both have this too. Everybody in the industry seemingly has this, a morals clause. Basically, if you do anything that brings you into ill repute publicly, you're subject to have that contract voided. Now, what the arguments here are going to, that's going to have to, what I think is trying to happen here is that CBS is trying to figure out how to get out of it. They own 4 years and $72 million. Is Tony Romo ever going to call a game again for CBS? I think if you asked them today, their preference is no, and they would like to get out. What's it going to come down to? It's going to come down to a settlement. It's going to come down to what is it worth to CBS to ask Tony Romo to walk away versus actually asking him to, tighten it up over the next couple of years. I don't know Tony Romo. I've never heard anything along the lines of he's got an alcohol problem or anything like that. Because the court date is when it is, depending on how he handles this from a legal standpoint, I think that's how this is going to play out. Now, I'm not comparing them in crimes or anything like this, but here's all I can tell you is that if you'll remember the whole Marv Albert thing in the late 90s, when that happened, NBC stood behind him. He came out and denied everything. And then this day he struck a plea deal, he was fired immediately because he said he didn't do anything wrong and it was all false allegations and all this stuff. Now, Romo has not said any of this stuff, but I think what CBS might be waiting for here is, well, how are they going to play this legally? Are they going to fight what this is? Because you heard Romo say on the body cam, no, my attorney said don't ever take the breathalyzer, I also saw I don't know that this is accurate. I also saw
Are you talking about the Dak thing?
What do you mean?
With that video or no? That somebody made like AI or no?
No.
Oh.
I was going to mention that somebody, and this is what happens now, right? But again, I don't want to say this is 100% accurate. He said he was on his way to see his grandparents. And apparently somebody checked out, like maybe his grandparents aren't around anymore.
Oh, I see what you,
Yeah. Anyway, here's the point. I think right now CBS is probably waiting for September 27th. Can we get out without paying you anything based on how you handle this? Or are we going to have to pay you $25 million to go away?
Well, the thing, maybe we could also check too, like the other endorsements he has. Doesn't he do Skechers commercials? Like he has
one
Skechers
of those shoes. I don't know if
said
it's Skechers,
anything,
but it's one of those shoes.
Have they pulled the plug? You know what I'm saying? Has anybody else followed suit?
Well, as soon as the advertisers go, then you're in big trouble.
And by the way, and I know we got to hit the break here. That's still, again, because a lot of this with the body cam and all the still makes the Kyle Shanahan thing sketchy that there's not going to be any body cam footage released.
I don't disagree. And it was very deliberate how that whole thing was worded.
100%. 100%. Final hour coming up next. It is Carlin Grasser, ESPN New York.
ESPN New York. Now streaming live on YouTube. Subscribe today and watch the show. WHSQ and WCBS-FM HD2, New York.
If you've been injured in an accident that wasn't your fault, then you need a lawyer who knows New York's unique personal injury and workers' compensation laws. At the Parisman Firm, they have decades of experience handling all types of accident cases and a proven track record of delivering huge results. Their team has already recovered nearly $1 billion for injured New Yorkers. From construction to car accidents and slips and falls, they've got you covered. Call the Parisman Firm now at 718-WORKERS, where your case is their cause. Get the justice you deserve today.
Hey, New York and New Jersey, commitment issues? No problem. Now you can get unlimited talk, text, and data for $25 a month forever, as in for life. Switch now at boostmobile.com. After 30 gigabytes, you may experience slower speeds. Pay $25 a month as long as you stay on the Boost Mobile Unlimited plan.
I'm David Ortiz. When I lost my mom, she was only 46, and I lost my dad to cancer. It was the worst pain I ever felt. It made me think, what will happen with the people I love when my time is up? That's why I have life insurance. Ethos makes it easy. It's all online, take about 10 minutes, and you can get up to $3 million in coverage.
Get your free quote at ethos.com/game. That's ethos.com/game. Paid testimonial. Time spent on application may vary. Online health questions required.
Shohei Ohtani's interpreter was fired today. Ippei Mitsuhara ran up gambling debts to a Southern California bookmaking operation.
The inside story of the biggest scandal in modern baseball.
He was absolutely bananas, the amount of bets he was making. I've never seen anything like it.
From 30 for 30 podcasts, this is The Betrayal of Shohei Ohtani.
Presented by Gusto. Episodes 1 and 2 available now. Listen wherever you get podcasts.
All right, hour number 3, high noon on this Friday. Last day of July, last day of the week. It is Carlin and Graca right here on ESPN New York. 800-919-3776 is the telephone number. Busy sports day. Trade deadline coming up Monday afternoon. Mets make a small transaction last night with A.J. Minter. Yanks got to get the bats going. We'll see how active they are over the next couple of days. They'll be in Chicago to take on the Northsiders a little bit later on this afternoon at Wrigley. And, of course, all the training camp news and nuggets. We were just talking about the Tony Romo story now, as Romo's been placed on leave indefinitely by CBS, so that just came down recently here.
Do you your instinct here? Mm-hmm. I'm sorry to cut you off, but do you think Romo ever calls a game for CBS again?
I think there's a better chance he calls a game for Al Jazeera than he does for CBS. I don't know, Achman. They've been tough on 3rd and long so far this year.
Maybe he'll get picked up and starts covering the Middle East. I don't know.
Does you see the World Cup wants to expand to 64, by the way?
You know, I just... The thing that was always bothersome to me about Romo is you get that opportunity, you get that paycheck, you get that contract, you make such an incredible impression on everybody through the first couple of years, and then you just mail it in after that. And I listen, when it's evident to us that you don't know what's going on, that's a problem for me. Like that's you're not respecting the people, your audience, who are the reason that you have this money and this contract and this deal to begin with. That's what you're doing.
You know what should happen? If I'm Greg Olson's agent, I'm on the phone with CBS and trying to find a way to get Greg Olson over there. Because remember, Olson is very capable of being a number one guy. He called a Super Bowl already. And then unfortunately he got big timed for Tom Brady. Olson should be a number one guy. He could maybe slide in over at that booth at CBS.
Here's the problem. They're going to put J.J. Watt in there, and he's going to be great.
Yeah, and J.J.'s very
Watt
good.
was very, very good last year. Here's what I'll be curious about, and it's not a knock on Nance.
Yeah.
And I will absolutely express a preference here for Ian. Ian's a friend, but it doesn't take away from the fact that Ian makes everybody he works with better. But it's not that they weren't good in the first place, but he knows how to enhance an analyst right away. Right. And that happened with J.J. Watt last year. And I think J.J. Watt will do a great job with Nance, and Nance is very good at that. But I would be surprised if Watt is not the long-term answer for CBS at this point. You're right about Greg Olson. Like, I think he's got one more year left in his contract with Fox. I think I read that somewhere recently. He's outstanding. He's excellent at it. You know, the problem is Watt is a little bit bigger of a name and is probably going to be equally as good at this.
No, you're right. And Watt was very, very good last year, too. But then the other thing you also have to, I mean, and this is a CBS problem. It's not you, me, or whatever. I mean, when you look at that booth in general, I mean, you know, Nance is not exactly a spring chicken either. You know, they may decide after a while that they're going to have to revamp the number one booth entirely.
I mean, I think that's probably still far down the line. I mean, Nance has already talked about, you know, he's going to do the Masters.
I mean, they moved him off the Final Four a couple of years ago.
That was his deal, though.
Was it, though? Was it more his doing?
Yeah, and Ian's their number one college basketball guy. Is Nance ever going to move voluntarily off? I don't know the answer to that. Because
he may just say, slow down a little bit. I'll do the golf. He's great with the golf.
He's not giving that up until he's done 50 years of the Masters. He's said that.
Yeah. But the golf is a little, that's a little bit more manageable than the football, which is, high intense, even though it's once a week. The traveling, the meetings, the...
Right.
A lot of eyeballs on you.
Like, Nance knows the golf. Nance is a great pro. He is an all-time broadcaster. But I do think it is curious to see, like, first of all, I think that this probably, if you were Olsen and you had one more year, it was going to be a hard, like, you might get more money from somewhere else. I think if Olsen's going to be a number one somewhere, it's probably going to be at a streamer that cuts a deal with the league to have more games. Like, could Olsen, Herb Street's not going anywhere on the Thursday night prime games. Could, would they talk about all these TV deals opening up at some point? Could Olsen end up being a guy who is a number one on one of these other streamers that gets a package that's a weekly game? I think that's probably going to be his best course of action.
Possibly. That's a good way to look at it for sure. And I don't know if you mentioned this, Romo's owed 72 over the next 4.
Could work if you can get it, man.
So they are combing through that thing, looking for clauses.
They are waiting for that court date. How are you handling this? Are you going to plead not guilty, or what? My guess is that's probably what he would do at this point. Or are you just going to try to plead it down? How's it going to work exactly?
What's the deal? By the way, like, speaking of quarterbacks, like what's the latest with the Mark Sanchez situation? Like, I saw his court date keeps getting pushed back. Like, are we ever going to sit down and find out what the hell happened or what?
I don't know. I don't know. I've heard different things, but certainly nothing that is fair to say on the air about what happened.
No, I think it's all fair. It's all fair game.
I will say this. This is what's odd about me. I would say probably a month after that whole thing happened, I was staying at one of those 2 hotels. I was in Indianapolis to do a Colts-Titans game on ESPN radio, and I went down into that alley and started to reenact it like it was the Zapruder film.
It's like you're down in Dallas and you're retracing like the JFK path or whatever?
Yeah, like, could he have really done wind sprints up and down this alley? Like, what?
You really did this?
I went down and looked. Like, how exactly did this go down?
What? Of all places. Like,
I'm right there at this hotel, and I knew it's like between like the Marriott and a Hilton right there in downtown Indianapolis, and I didn't have a notebook with me, but I went down there and took a look. Like, I gotta know, because remember the whole story was he was doing like wind sprints, and then didn't he get stabbed by the guy?
Yeah, it's a very
what went down
affair
here, and I just wanted to look at this area, and all of a sudden, I'm in an episode of Forensic Files.
Ray? He sounds like he's going rogue as like a private eye. Like he's got his own like.
Did you have a trench coat?
Yeah, I had to. Earlier in the week, I had to turn in my badge and my gun because I once again went off the rails, and they could not afford to have that wild card that was me out on the streets. But I can't let this case go.
I could just imagine this, like you're watching the show and you hear the inner monologue as you're walking through this alley at night with like a camera. It was late that night in Indianapolis.
I had a GoPro with me.
Now, were you more the commish or the shield, Michael Chiklis? Which one were you going with?
Yeah.
Which one was he fatter?
I had just finished up dinner at St. Elmo's. The cocktail sauce was not hitting that night. So I decided to take a stroll past the alley. I saw some dock stuff on the ground. It still couldn't be from that night. Dun, 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 dun. I was only in town for the weekend because the Colts were playing the Titans. Both teams stunk, but I was happy to do the game regardless.
It was Colts Titans. What did you want me to delve in a little bit more into Janarius Sneed? What do you want me to do?
So I had some time on my hands, so I figure I swing by the alley.
I had the Cam Ward story down. What do you want me to do at that point? Like I had an earlier flight on that Saturday. There's only like 3 flights to Indianapolis for whatever reason from Newark now. So I took an earlier flight. I got there and, oh my God, this is where I am. This is where this all happened. I got to take a look at this.
If you started doing the wind sprints, then that would have, like, I need the surveillance of that. You know what I mean?
You started to reenact it?
Yes. Yes.
And you know what?
The Cintas delivery guy or whatever.
Exactly. I'd go and grab a couple of other people. Like, stand right here. You go over here. That is one magic wind sprint. That's what I say. Like,
it's
these
incredible.
are the weird things I will do. Oh my God!
But so you didn't get any information from your detective work.
My intense study of the whole alleyway really revealed nothing in terms of actual work or actual evidence in the case.
I would have loved to have seen it. 800-919-3776. We're going to play our game in about 15 minutes or so to round out the week. But in the meantime, let's say hi to David in Elizabeth. Wants to talk a little football. He's up next here on ESPN New York. David, good afternoon. How are you?
What's going on, Mr. Grassa? What's going on, Chef? Gentlemen, if we could talk football all day, every day, we would do it every day. But I do want to say 2 things real quick before I get into my jet point. With Tony Romo, I think he's box office, and I like when he calls games with Nance, and I appreciate, what he brings to the game. It stinks that Sanchez himself, they get in trouble for, common mistakes that we all make. We all get a little sloppy when we drink. But it just stinks, man, because I look at it like, yeah, he made a mistake, but is he a bad person? Does he go around hurting people? Should he really lose his job? But I get it, You shouldn't embarrass the company, and, you shouldn't get,
about the DWI or the DUI thing. I think there are a lot of people with very strong feelings on this, understandably. I've lost my roommate in college to that. He was operating under the influence after he graduated, and he hit a tree. So, my feelings on it are pretty strong. I've always felt like it's a bit of an punished crime, but is making a mistake making you a bad person? Of course not.
Yeah, no, I understand. We all lost a buddy too around my way from him drinking. He walks on the highway intoxicated, and you know the rest. But I get it. So I understand. He's embarrassing the company, and that's not cool. But I'm gonna be honest. They're probably gonna let him go, and I'm gonna miss him. Not for nothing. Even though he wasn't a Jet quarterback. Not for nothing. He brings great insight to the game, and I like when he calls the games. But he'll bounce out, man. He's making enough money. He'll be okay. But it's just gonna suck that he's not gonna be around. A positive note I do want to say is this. The second round pick, I heard he was moving things at camp the other day, man. I heard he was making headlines at camp, moving Olu, moving Membu. So he's in the right direction, and I believe I told you this maybe a week ago. If he challenges those two, he's trending in the right direction, and he just did that. Yes, no pads yet, but I think he's going to be able to do it with pads, and if he is, that's big, man. That's major, and I like to hear that. So they're trending in the right direction. So we're going to see what's up, man. We're definitely going to see what's up. Fellas, I want to ask you this, too. How are you guys going to grade Aaron Glenn after this season or during the season, especially Dan? You as well, Chef.
How do you grade him during the season? Is that what you said?
Just overall, how are you guys going to be? All right, here's the better question because I worded it wrong.
Mm-hmm.
What are you guys looking for to see in Aaron Glenn this season where he should be able to stay to continue this journey? Or, I don't think this is for you. What do you gentlemen think? What do you guys need to see to be like, you know what? Glenn is the guy. Or, he could be the guy.
What's going to be different this year, and thanks for the phone call, man, as always. What's different this year, Chris, as far as last year right off the bat? If the defense performs well, he's going to get a lot more credit. If the defense doesn't perform well, he's going to get a lot more blame, as apart from just the performance of the team as a whole. Remember, now this is his baby, the defense. So that's an area you can pin on him, good or bad.
Yeah, I think it's pretty self-explanatory. The Jets won 3 games last year, right? So with that being the case, if I see market improvement, and market improvement to me is doubling that win total, then Aaron Glenn should be given a 3rd year. Unless it is evident that the game management skills are just not there. This is this is what kind of, I don't want to say it bothers me, and I honestly do respect Woody Johnson in every way, saying, look at all of this money I'm paying out to coaches right now, and guys that you wanted, and they're gone after year 1, and I'm paying out and you want me to pay another defensive coordinator. Somebody wouldn't be, he wouldn't be cheap, he wouldn't be ridiculous, but my guess is somebody like Wink Martindale probably would have cost $3 to $4 million a year, because people don't even realize what coordinators get paid now. Oh, they get really good money, the good ones. So you've made the job, even in asking Aaron Glenn to fix the defense, you have made his job harder in the process. And thus, did he make it harder on himself by making as many bad picks as he did last year for his staff? Kind of feels like he's getting doubly punished for that this year.
Let me play devil's advocate for a second. Jet defense good this year. Team as a whole, little better, not that much. You're talking about a 4-5 win team, but the defense played pretty good.
But how good could the defense play with a team that won 4 or 5 games? When we talk about the Jets' offense more than we do about the defense this year.
Well, the Robert Saleh teams, for example. Yeah. They had good defenses, statistically top 10 defenses, some top 5 defense, and they all maxed out at 7 wins?
Yeah.
Right? So
if the Jets have a top 12 defense and they win 4 games?
Right. Can you make a determination and a discernible difference between the head coach and the defensive coordinator,
well, then
even though they're the same person?
Then to me it's an easy thing. If your defense plays well and you win 4 games, it's because of the quarterback. And then I have to give you another chance, because presumably if I win 4 games, I'm going to have a top 5 pick, and I'm going to have a chance to get a quarterback. This was clearly a placeholder. I'm going to just, I don't want to throw this out there too much but I do think it's a thing, all right? I do think Cade Klubnik starts 5 to 6 games for this team at some point.
Is that because of performance or because of injury?
Yes.
Yep. Okay.
It could be either. And it's more out of, not Gino's going to be god awful. It's more out of, man, Klubnik looks pretty good in some of these practices, because I've heard a lot of good things and heard even a little bit more yesterday. Now, I don't want to make too much of it, because I destroyed people in New England a couple of years ago when Mac Jones I don't know if it was Mac Jones' rookie year or his second year or whatever it was, and people up there were actually screaming and yelling for the kid Cunningham from Louisville to start that year.
Yeah.
Who is now a receiver for the Detroit Lions. Like, that's just silly. And I get it. If Klubnik is playing a lot for the Jets this year, something went wrong. But I hear good things, man.
Yeah. I mean, obviously, and I don't think it's that outlandish to say, he is going to get his opportunity for a few games. I mean, the most likely way this thing plays itself out, I think that probably a lot would agree with you in that scenario, is that you get to a point in the season, whether it's late November, early December, wherever it is, where they're essentially out of it, and then they were like, you know what? We got to see what we have in this kid before we head into the offseason. Kind of like what happened last year, except instead of Brady Cook, you're going to get a guy who probably has a lot more potential to stick around as an NFL quarterback.
I would agree with that. I mean, I think the potential is there because this is somebody that universally was acknowledged a year ago that this was a potential top 10 pick.
Right.
And maybe would end up being the best quarterback out of the group, Arch notwithstanding. Now, that obviously didn't play out. There were people who played Clemson this year who felt like, well, maybe that offense, maybe they didn't do him a whole lot of favors with their offense. Take that with whatever grain of salt you want to. You still have to play better. You still have to be a quarterback who overcomes some things. So
had a bum ankle, too, for a lot of the season.
Yeah. Listen, I feel like Klubnik is at least going to get a decent opportunity at some point this year to play. And I'm saying that, and I'm the guy that says I think it's more likely that the Jets could win 7-8 games as opposed to the Giants, which Dave is still on that this morning. Dave and Jordan are both on the 8-9 thing, and it's not that they're not going to be better, but I don't know how you get to 8 or 9 if you haven't won at least 6 before Thanksgiving. I don't know how that happens.
We went through it. I mean, look, and we're going to keep going through it as well. That schedule's challenging. It's a tough schedule.
Yes.
Especially, as you said, the post-Thanksgiving allotment is not easy.
It's that time again.
It's time. It's time.
Let's name him. That's exactly what it is.
Real quick, and this would almost be a strike against me, but here's what I'm going to throw out there. And I know we're in the 5th day of the game, so this might be the last time we play. Who knows? But if I remember correctly yesterday, I won because you got your 3rd strike, right?
Yeah.
Okay. That ended the game. Some cases you would almost then have to turn it back around to the other player who would then have to guess correctly to almost like cement the strike, if you will.
I understand that.
Right?
I mean, listen, we can look at tweaking the rules if you want, but I don't want you to tweak the rules based on me, like based on the fact that you've just kicked my ass up and down the field this week. That's all. I'm not looking for any gifts here.
It wasn't an ass kicking yesterday. It wasn't.
But you beat me at my primary strength, at my greatest strength. You took me out. So that's tantamount to an ass kicking.
I don't know.
You don't seem to be. I can't read you right now, which is even more frustrating to me.
No, I don't go about that. I'm curious as to where today's is going to go. That's what I'm really curious to.
Well,
like I said, I was not confident yesterday. I was not confident the day before with the Yankees, and I have no idea which direction this is going today.
Well,
and I don't want to be that guy that's throwing my hands up there. It's like, oh, I don't know how this keeps happening, but it keeps happening. I'm being sincere with you.
Okay. Well, we'll find out. 800-919-3776, 800-919-ESPN. We will take your calls the rest of the show, but this is up next. Remember that guy from that team? Let's name him.
This is the Michael K. Show.
I think that when you watch a team every single day, I think we get more of a harsh perspective because teams that are having quote unquote good years, the injury decimated Yankees play those teams and they seem to handle them quite well. Maybe things are not as bad as we all think they are because we're watching them every single day.
The Michael K. Show, weekdays at 1 on ESPN New York and streaming live on YouTube. Presented by the Parisman Firm.
Prizes, flyaways, even cash money. You want it? We've got it. Find a list of all contests and official rules by visiting ESPNNewYorkContests.com.
That's ESPNNewYorkContests.com.
1-877 Cars for Kids. KARS Cars for Kids. 1-877 Cars for Kids. Donate your car today. 1-877 Cars for Kids. KARS Cars for Kids. 1-877 Cars for Kids. Donate your car today.
Ready to get rid of that old car? Donate it to Cars for Kids. Call 877-CARS-4-KIDS to speak to a friendly live agent. Donation is super easy, and your car can be picked up as soon as tomorrow. Go to cars4kids.org now or call 877-CARS-4-KIDS to donate your car today.
1-877 Cars for Kids. KARS Cars for Kids. 1-877 Cars for Kids.
Did you know you can donate real estate too? Go to cars4kids.org. That's cars with a K.
Monkey Sports, built by players for players, is your one-stop shop for hockey, baseball, lacrosse, and more. Find top-name equipment and expert in-store services like sharpening, break-ins, and relacing. Shop in-store at Monkey Sports in Farmingdale or Woodbridge or online for all the top brands. Whatever your sports, Monkey Sports gets you game ready fast. Monkey Sports, where athletes shop.
Hey, let me ask you something. Would you seat your 3-year-old child on a windowsill? Would you seat them beside a lit fireplace or by the deep end of a pool? One last question. Would you seat your child in a car seat that's not correct for them? Car crashes are a leading killer of children ages 1 to 13. Secure their future. Seat them in the correct car seat. For more information, visit safercar.gov/the-right-seat.
Sponsored by the New York State Governor's Traffic Safety Committee.
When you manage an active facility, disruption is not an option. Tricon Construction specializes in healthcare, commercial, and industrial environments where work needs to happen without shutting operations down. That takes detailed planning, clear communication, and safe, disciplined execution. Because when patients are inside, tenants are working, or production has to keep moving, every decision matters. Tricon understands how to work around your business professionally, safely, and efficiently. For complex work inside active facilities, choose Tricon Construction. Visit TriconBuilds.com. That's TriconBuilds.com.
Your ambition just met its match with Robinhood. You push yourself in everything you do, scanning headlines for insights, keeping an eye on the market. Robinhood puts you in control of your money, all on one platform. You expect more from yourself. Expect more from your money. Get started today at Robinhood.com/yourmoney. Again, that's Robinhood.com/yourmoney. Your money, your move.
I'm David Ortiz. When I lost my mom, she was only 46. And I lost my dad to cancer. It was the worst pain I ever felt. It made me think, what will happen with the people I love when my time is up? That's why I have life insurance. Ethos makes it easy. It's all online, take about 10 minutes, and you can get up to $3 million in coverage.
Get your free quote at ethos.com/game. That's ethos.com/game. Paid testimonial. Time spent on application may vary. Online health questions required.
Carlin Grassi, ESPN New York, on this Friday at 800-919-3776. We'll have our feel-good moment of the week coming up in just a little while. But first, it is time to play the game one last time for the week.
Was Stephen Baker there yet? Well, no, I'm sorry. Back up a second. We talked about it at the beginning of the show. Mark Bavaro.
Carl Banks.
Is Lionel Manuel still there?
Clock.
Gonna need an answer here, Rothenberg.
Lionel Manuel.
Oh, look at you pulling a name.
Look at you.
Jumbo Elliott.
Best name on the team.
You're just coming right back on me every moment there. This is Howard Cross.
William Roberts.
We haven't gotten one strike yet, have we?
No, we're good at this game.
Don't jinx it.
Everson Walls was not there yet. Eric Dorsey.
Good call. Not Salt, but Pepper Johnson. I say it like that.
Not Salt, but what? Pepper Johnson? Oh, God. Wow, this has been...
It's been a fun game.
This has been a fun game, but you're just... I'm not even getting a sniff here. We already said Leonard Marshall. Raul Alegre.
I wasn't sure about that one, but I'm glad you got it.
Makes you happy, doesn't it? Allegre.
How about Bob Cratch with a K?
Look at this. Every time I get a sniff here, you're just kicking me right in the pants.
By the way, pretty soon, we're going to be down to the practice squad the way we're going.
How many in a row have we gotten?
3, 6, 9, 12, 15, 18, 20, 24.
We've gotten 24 without getting one wrong?
Mm-hmm.
I know this is wrong. I'm taking a shot anyway. Everson Walls. Yeah, he was not there yet. Joined the 90 team.
So Everson Walls is out. Odessa Turner.
Wow. You're just not even... Okay. I think he was there. Mark Ingram.
That's a good call. I should have had that one. How about too early for, oh boy.
Let's go, Rothenberg.
How about
Time, please.
Brian Williams.
Ryan Williams.
Center.
Come on. Now, I mean, you got to have the screen up in front of you. Like,
I'm looking right at you on the screen. That's what I'm looking at.
A nightly news
but maybe
guy?
on your screen as you're looking at me, like you're also looking at that at the same time.
No, I don't have.
I'm not in
No,
your house.
are you
I
kidding
don't
me?
know.
Are you kidding me? I'm writing these names down. I got the pen.
Oh well, that's the ultimate, isn't it? That's all the proof I need.
The pen is mightier than the sword. I would not cheat. I have integrity. Come on.
All right.
I'd rather lose.
All right, this is a guy that I think was gone, but I'm going to say the name anyway because there was a big controversy around him.
I think I know who you're going to go with.
Zeke Mowat.
Ooh.
Was Zeke Mowat still around in 89? Whew. Oh, boy.
Joe Morris still there in 89?
No, he was not that. He was gone. I
didn't think he was. All right, so we got a 1-1. team even if he doesn't play?
Has to show
like
up
as long
on
as
the
he's
roster.
on the team.
Has to. I mean, I would say would have been played in a game.
The official thing that I use is the Pro Football Reference roster.
Okay.
Which logs everybody to have, I believe, just dressed for a game.
Okay. We just done one.
Time's ticking here, Rothenberg.
Good guess.
It's ticking. I'm going to go with an Matt Kavanaugh as the third-string quarterback.
Oh, wow. I remember Madden in the NFC Championship game the next year when he came in after that blindside shot on Hostetler. And what's his name? Madden described his arm as an old rusty hinge.
He wasn't on the team, so it doesn't matter. You win.
Oh, yes.
It was a Jeff Rutledge situation, I believe.
It was still Rutledge.
Jeff Rutledge. Oh, my God. Yes.
I was going back and forth. I said, was Rutledge gone by then?
Oh.
Jeff Rutledge out of Alabama. I thought Rutledge then went on to the Patriots, or was he a Patriot before the Giants, or vice versa?
I don't think. No, I thought he was drafted by the Giants.
Did he go to the?
I'll look him up while we have a moment. But
Rams,
wow, I salvaged
Giants,
one. I absolutely
Washington.
saved one.
Oh, so he wasn't a. Why am I thinking Patriots? When was Jared Bunch drafted? That was another one I was thinking.
The running
Gerard
back? Wasn't
Bunch.
he a running back?
Yeah, from Michigan.
Yeah. Wow.
Was that 89 or 90?
Was it Jared or Gerard?
Empty check boxes are George Adams, Johnny Cooks, Greg Cox, Mark Duckins, LaSalle Harper, Greg Jackson, Dwayne Giles, Damian Johnson, Eric Moore.
What about
kicker for 6 games
was
of
Perry
Bjorn
Williams on the team?
Nitmo?
Perry Williams, I was going to guess next.
Oh, Perry
That
Williams.
would have been a check. It would have been a ding.
He was on the team.
Yes, and
Okay.
Frank Winters.
Frank Winters, the guy that ended up in Green Bay? Like the longtime Favre
That
guy?
Frank Winters?
Isn't he from around here?
It was his second year in the league then.
Wasn't
Frankie
Frank
Bag of
Winters like a
Donuts?
Jersey guy?
I didn't know that.
I don't know. All right. Well, at least I have some dignity. And in the
We gotta
chat, and I want to thank everybody for this, all the great comments I'm getting. But from Marcus, great radio, guys. Thank you. I'm pretty sure there's a tone of sarcasm in it, but thank you, Marcus.
Bunch was 1991, so I would have lost that one too.
Yeah,
you know who else I was thinking
Jared
of?
Bunch has a 1991 draft pick feel to him, doesn't he?
You know, do you remember a defensive lineman, Mike Fox? I was also thinking of him, but he came the next year in 1990 as I look right now, so I would have got him wrong, too.
I do remember him vaguely, but a lot of the names that Ray rattled off there, I did not remember.
Eric Moore was one as a rotational offensive lineman, but that was a tough one.
I can't believe I didn't say Mega because I thought I already said it.
Yeah, Megat. I'm currently incarcerated. Oh, wow.
It's Carlin Grassa, ESPN New York.
Wow.
There you were, surrounded by fans. Everybody remembers the game. Nobody remembers the guy coughing behind you. Till a few days later, at 2 a.m., you wake up with a fever and your throat's on fire. Now what? Urgent care? Closed. ER? Slammed. Telehealth? Maybe, but the pharmacy's closed. You needed a medical emergency kit. These aren't first aid kits. They contain essential prescriptions used for over 30 common conditions. Sinus and ear infection, UTIs, stomach bugs, traveler's diarrhea, and more on hand before you need them. Use your doctor-developed guidebook to select the right prescription or call their telemedicine doctor standing by. It's like an urgent care and drugstore at home. When you're sick, traveling, or stranded, you'll wish you'd ordered a medical emergency kit. Order online in minutes and it's shipped to your door. And save $45 with my promo code 880 at urgentcarekit.com/880. That's promo code 880 at urgentcarekit.com/880.
If you've been injured on a construction site, then you need a lawyer who knows New York's unique labor laws. At the Parisman Firm, they have decades of experience handling construction accident cases and a proven track record of delivering huge results. Their team has already recovered nearly $1 billion for hardworking New Yorkers. From scaffold accidents to slip and falls and equipment failures, they've got your back. Call the Parisman Firm now at 718-WORKERS. That's right, 718-WORKERS, because your case is their cause. Get the justice you deserve today.
Rich Eisen here with some advice. If high-interest credit card debt is grinding you down, it might be time to call an audible with a SoFi personal loan. It consolidates your debt into one low monthly payment with no fees required. And with as soon as the same-day funding, you can make the right play fast. Call an audible on your debt today at SoFi.com/debtplay. Loans originated by SoFi Bank N.A., member FDIC. Terms and conditions apply. NMLS 696891. Fast funds terms apply at SoFi.com/debtplay. Rich Eisen here. Running a small business means every hire matters. A bad hire costs time and money, but the right one helps your business grow. The challenge? Finding that person without sorting through resumes. That's where LinkedIn Hiring Pro comes in. It screens candidates so you can focus on conversations with qualified talent. With Hiring Pro, you can hire with confidence and build the team you need. Join the 2.7 million small businesses using LinkedIn to hire. Get started by posting your job for free at linkedin.com/Eisen. Terms and conditions apply.
Congratulations, New York. The Knicks did it. Through battle after battle, they dominated to become this year's NBA champions. Day in and day out, the hard work paid off, and you were there every step of the way. Enjoy the crown. Own it, because this year is your year. A part of your legacy that will never be forgotten. So celebrate this moment, show your pride, and shop the largest selection of official NBA gear at NBAstore.com. A Fanatics experience.
Carlin Grassa, ESPN New York, and it's time right now for the feel-good moment of the week. It's brought to you by Samwell Institute for Pain Management. Chris, how can you not feel good if you're a Giant fan? And we talked about it earlier in the week about the news you got regarding Malik Nabers, that he's not going to open up camp on the PUP list. He's been out there the first couple of days. He's looked good. He can unleash so many good things for this offense, starting with the quarterback and his development, but more importantly, just a bona fide weapon that defenses are going to have to keep an extra set of eyes on here throughout this season.
That's by far, to me, the best development of the week for the Giants, and really for anybody in, well, kind of a quiet week. But nonetheless, the fact that Nabers is coming back and the Giants are not going to be, it doesn't sound like, even from what Jordan was saying this morning, that week one is even in question at this point. It sounds like he's going to be there, and that's a massive development for them. Something that, as of a week ago, I would certainly not have said was any lock by any stretch.
Absolutely, and it's going to make the competition that much greater for those spots on the wide receiver roster as well, because you got a lot of guys there that have done some things in the NFL, and they're going to be fighting for jobs. They're not all going to make the team. I know Odell is the most noteworthy name there. We'll see if he has anything left in the tank, but it's going to spur some competition for those other guys because, like you said, not everybody's going to make it here. So it's a great thing, and, vibes are good for the New York Giants entering camp this year, and that should be one of the big reasons.
And that was your feel-good moment of the week, brought to you by Samwell Institute for Pain Management, a pain-free life. Visit SamwellPain.com. Here's why the internet can be amazing. It doesn't have to be just an absolute trash pile. I Googled Matt Kavanaugh rusty hinge, and there is a 3-minute and 54-second YouTube video entitled The Matt Kavanaugh Tribute.
Amazing. Absolutely amazing.
We will see you Monday at Jet Camp, Cowboy.
Oh, it's going to be a good one. So looking forward to that. Everybody have themselves a great week, and I'll talk to you tomorrow morning, 9 a.m. for our Saturday extravaganza. And maybe we'll get some baseball trades here by the time we get back Monday morning, because it's been kind of quiet so far.
Okay, so on Monday, if we're asking A.Z. Thomas his take on the Yankees getting Ryan Jeffers, don't be surprised.
He's going to be all over it, baby. All over it. Carlin Grassa, ESPN New York. We'll talk to you Monday. Bye.
1-877 Cars for Kids. KARS Cars for Kids. 1-877 Cars for Kids. Donate your car today.
Call 877-CARS4KIDS to reach a friendly live agent. Donation is super easy, and your car can be picked up as soon as tomorrow. Call us now or go to carsforkids.org.
7 Cars for Kids. Donate your car today.
Did you know you can donate real estate too?
Progressive presents the Passionate Sports Fan Checklist. Signed jersey of your favorite bench warmer? Check. 14 bobbleheads that look nothing like the players they're emulating? Check. Twin TVs so you can watch the game on 2 different networks simultaneously? Check. Life-size wall sticker of your favorite player that routinely freaks you out at night? Check. A second life-size wall sticker